Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of The Keel Show. I'm your host, Alex Keel. Alongside me, the Inside of the Insiders, back from Denver, Tyler Keel.
Well, hello, everybody. Well, I mean, I was back on Thursday, but obviously it's a different show now because, well, we're both here now.
Yes, we are.
You're here, Alex.
Back to your regularly scheduled program.
Where were you, Alex, is my million-dollar question.
Duty calls.
Duty calls. Is
Duty
that what you're going to say, Alex?
Final answer, duty calls.
Final answer, duty calls. Why are we not on
Yes.
YouTube yet? We're not on YouTube yet.
Not on YouTube. Why not?
I'm not sure.
That's okay. If you are watching us live on 12 Out Sports, you probably are watching us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Zingo TV, channel 761. Sign up for free using the code 12ounce. That is the numbers 1, 2, and lowercase O, Z, or Z for our non-American
For
listeners.
our proper English users is what you're trying to say there, Alex.
Sure. Make sure to get involved with today's show using hashtag TKS or hashtag AskTKS at The Keel Show on Twitter and Facebook. If you have any questions, hit us up in the chat or in the comments during today's episode. Otherwise, feel free to direct message us or give us a post yourself and then tag us in that using at The Keel Show. We'll do our best to answer all of them in today's show. Otherwise, we will answer them in future episodes.
I wonder why, because now it's funny. I have it here on the phone. We have it. We can see we're having the YouTube here. As I just
It's probably just something with your computer buffering. It's fine.
I don't know what's wrong with my
You're running a lot of software right now, so maybe
I am
it's just
running a lot of
taking
software.
a bit to load up there.
Is it time to start panicking yet?
No. So make sure to use hashtag TKS, hashtag AskTKS at The Keel Show. Today's show on 12 Ounce Sports is brought to you by Second String Leather Company.
I don't have to worry about the mirror effect now. I know which side it's on. It's up here.
There you go.
Here on TKS, Second String Leather Company.
Check out collection number 6.
Just got released.
Mike Smith's old Tampa Bay gear and Patrick Waugh's Montreal gear, question mark?
Well, that's what it looks like. I mean, not many players use the red and blue. Well, that's back in the day when goaltenders like, oh my gosh, we can put colors on our pads now. We got to fill it up because no one used white pad except for Archer's Herbe back in the day.
Right.
But that's kind of how it was. And it was like, oh, this is going to be unique. And then next thing you know, it's like, whoa, look what we got here. We got all these like Mike Richter's red and blue pads. Then there was Patrick Waugh's, obviously. I think of other goaltenders. Felix Potvin's dark blue pads were always pretty cool. I guess one of the early guys to do it was Grant Fuhr and his blue and orange Edmonton Oilers pads.
Fair enough.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Old school goaltending gear.
Make sure to check out Second String Leather Company and that collection number 6. Second String Leather Company, crafted from the crease.
Crafted from the crease. Oh, there we are. There's our link.
That's what I said.
I found it. No need to panic.
Sure, Ty.
I'm just saying don't panic, people, because, listen, we're going to have the game of Tampa and Boston on, so we got to make sure we can update folks on that because people are going to be watching us.
I'd rather not. That way I don't have to keep talking about something and 5 seconds later, by the way, Boston just scored.
Hey.
By the way, Tampa just scored.
Brian Burke did it on
Yeah, and it's annoying as hell.
Hockey Central.
Yeah, and Brian Burke's an idiot.
Brian Burke
Is a failed general manager. What do you got to say?
He won a cup.
Okay, and he's still an idiot.
He can ride that for the rest of his days. Brian Burke. Okay, Alex, a very important question because it's a very easy question to answer.
Can you hold on here? Can we get through this?
Brian Burke?
Hold on, no.
Brian Burke
Can
or
we
Mike
get- no.
Milbury, Alex? Tell me. Give me an honest answer, Alex. Milbury or Burke?
Today's episode is also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Bet on all sports, win and get paid. Use promo code 12ounce sports and join for free today. What was the question, Ty?
Burke or Milbury?
Neither.
Guy who won a cup and is actually a decent broadcaster, and I'd say an admirable fill-in for Don Cherry, or a Don Cherry wannabe who is about, who makes George Peros look like a smart individual.
Option C, Eddie Olczyk.
And here comes Dad going there, Eddie, oh, what? That's exactly what Dad would say.
Today's show
He'd say
is...
something else, but we can't say it here.
Shut up! Oh, my goodness. I let you have 2 episodes by yourself in a row, and then you just go off the rails.
Buddy, I was doing how many more episodes during COVID by myself before we started going live here on 12 Ounce Sports?
Fair enough.
About 30? Well,
Enough.
Maybe about 30, but a lot.
Enough that I didn't have to hear your stupid voice.
You didn't listen to me?
No!
In all my great conversations with guys like
Absolutely
Tate
not.
Harris and Rachel and Janae Anderson and Kyle McKenna and all those great people. Had so many great interviews.
On
Jeff
today's,
Lerg. I'm just naming off.
no,
I guess
Ty, you go. I'll be the insider.
I don't have
today.
the script in front of me. I don't know what's going on here.
I'll be the insider today. Nope.
Nope.
Go for it.
Nope.
I don't have the script in front of me either.
No, now you just changed tabs.
Yep. I don't have it in front of me anymore.
Should we wait, where were you at?
Today's episode.
We should probably talk about the playoffs.
No, duh. You are full. No, go on, host.
Our
Tell me what
show
we're talking about
today,
today.
we're going to talk about all the series that may end here in the next couple of days. The Vegas Golden Knights. They came back yesterday against Vancouver. Can they end it tomorrow? Tomorrow. Will the Dallas Stars pull off the upset and knock out the Avalanche in convincing fashion? Are the Boston Bruins washed up? If you ask me, I'm pretty sure Boston City needs a good washing, if you ask me. Regardless, breaking down also the Islanders and their success against Philadelphia and talking about some Barry Trotz and how good he has been. Now, I didn't put this on here, Alex, but I see because you have TSN up over here. Do we want to start off with the Dale Tallon investigation? Because we have some time before we're going to get to the series later on.
Sure.
Because we have obviously 4 series to break down. We don't have to do any guests to worry about
Why
today.
not?
Just us. I know, no guests on the show, Alex. I think this is the first time since we've gone live, Alex.
No, it is not.
Well, okay, since the Monday night shows. Not the Quick Shift edition. Quick Shift is different. Quick Shift on Thursdays, that's just me blabbering on for an hour.
I know.
Well, yes, Alex, that's the point. That's where I'm just going. And you talked about me like chewing food for half an hour. I'm like, I talk for an hour straight. Well, I mean, I breathe every so often, but
Yeah.
so let's start off with the Dale. We'll get to the hashtag AskTKS questions here before we start breaking down the series, which we'll preview Tampa versus Boston first, obviously, because that game is in 50 minutes and change. 7 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Mountain time, or 4 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Alaska time, 2 o'clock Hawaii time. Am I right? Don't they have Alaska and Hawaii have their own time zones?
Dude, I don't know.
Didn't you go to school?
Eastern bias.
You're still going to school. You should know this kind of stuff. You
for
should still be
9
educated.
more months, and then I'm done.
you should still
Until
be.
someone wants to pay
The
for
fact
a
that
master's
you are
degree.
still in school, it should mean, Alex, that you should be more educated.
I am educated, but I don't really care about time zones.
I think you should.
You know, the only time zone I care about is the one I'm in at that time.
Which is why I had to remind myself, hey, I have a show at 4 o'clock today when I was in Denver. Which, by the way, beautiful. The mountains were amazing. But, good Lord, downtown Denver, I thought I was going to die. When it's 98 degrees, I don't care if it's 98 degrees in a dry heat. I'll be honest, the forest fires were actually making it pretty rough at sometimes. A little bit smoldery, but it was okay. It was fun.
Yeah, that was a great time to go to Colorado.
Well, when we first of all, we planned the vacation. We planned it so that we would be able to, if there was a fall sports season at Davenport, where we both work, that we were going to have time to make sure we could do the stuff and then broadcast and do all of our work by September. And Kel's like, okay, let's do that. Should be okay. Late August, it can't be too bad. It's a dry heat out there. And then we look at the temperature, says 97, 98, 96, 97. I'm like, well, this is going to suck. But the mountains, it was actually about 10, 15 degrees cooler.
Yeah,
So,
it's a dry heat. Yeah, so
Screw
is a fire.
you.
So is a fire.
you know, the
make
bonfire is a dry heat. You won't see me shaking my ass in one of those, do you? Jeff, it's a Jeff Dunham joke, Alex.
I know.
You can say ass. You just can't just go ass and then the next part. Ass is a donkey. There was legitimately a donkey at the Denver Zoo that was called an ass.
Well,
it was in the
okay.
name.
Fair enough. Fair enough at all.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair
Thank
enough.
you.
Just
Wait, hold on.
Fair enough.
Hold on.
Eric Fair, yes.
Eric,
sure.
fair enough? Okay, just making sure.
Eric, fair enough.
So-
Okay, so yes, the Dale Tallon investigation. So the NHL is currently investigating whether or not Florida general manager,
Former Florida general manager.
former Florida general manager Dale Tallon made racially insensitive comments during the team's 2-week stay in the playoff hub. NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly confirmed the investigation to the Associated Press on Friday. In an email, Daly did not provide any details of the allegations, which were first reported by FloridaHockeyNow.com. I'm getting this information via TSN.
And I believe that
which-
may have been George Richards. George Richards, who used to write for The Athletic, but he was one of the many layoffs. I know he's working for them now. I don't know if he was the one that wrote it, but I know he works for them. So it's from the Canadian Press is the report, but
Right.
George Richards is a big part of that group. And I don't know exactly which one of the writers for Florida Hockey Now posted it, but nonetheless, that was a tidbit of information that I had it stored in my brain somewhere.
Yeah, not the
My
best
frontal
time to make that comment.
Well, what? I don't know who reported it, but you're talking about Dale Tallon.
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, George, yeah, I know George works there. I'm sorry that I know stuff. Oh, yes.
No.
Dale Tallon, absolutely.
Yeah, not the best time.
And for some of you who watched the episode on Thursday with myself and Cody Jansen on Quick Shift edition of TKS here on 12 Ounce Sports, we focused on the Black Lives Matter movement and why the boycotts had happened. And Alex, I know you weren't here for that,
Right, and I had a lot of people asking me, so I made a post on my own personal Facebook about it. Which
Facebook, there's a wonderful place. I think Twitter's bad.
Should have turned off the comments for that one, but yeah, no bueno.
No bueno indeed.
Well, there were good comments and bad ones, but that's okay.
You can't say them on the air.
I got my word out there, and all the people that asked me, they messaged me after I made that post because I was like, I'm not going to comment to everybody that wants to know about this.
No, unfortunately, we can't be.
Just going to do it all at once.
You got to do, Alex. You got to be the big time guy. You got to be like, you can't respond to each individual person. You have to be focused. You got to be like,
see, that's what I should do. I should just make a Facebook page for me as a hockey man.
Alex,
should I do that?
No.
Where people can follow
We're
me
not
and
popular
they'll
enough.
like my page.
Until that watching now thing, Alex, hits like 10,000, I'm pretty sure we can't do that. And I'm talking 10,000 watching live.
I'm sure I could. It just probably wouldn't be very useful or effective.
No, not at all. But regardless, whatever he said, whatever it may have been, insensitive is, I guess, the word that everyone's talking about. And now that is interesting. Now, yes, the Florida Panthers have struggled on the ice over the past couple of seasons, getting bounced pretty convincingly in the qualifying round. But do we think? I know you're supposed to be the one asking the questions here, Alex, but this question just came to my mind
at this point. This is a co-host kind of thing.
Really, that's how I introduce myself to everybody. But do you think this is the reason why Dale Tallon was fired, or was it just because the team was bad, or team has not been as good as it could be?
Yes.
You think it's a mixture of both? Well, I wonder now.
I don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Purely speculation, obviously.
No, yes, this literally just came into my head, folks. That's why I said it before I forgot.
I'm going to say that this was probably a situation where team effectiveness and their success in the past few years probably was a leading cause for it, and this was just a cherry on top or something that just it was there.
Right.
It was already going to happen, and this just happened around the same exact time.
I wonder if Florida's brass knew about this. Regardless, when we heard about it, it was okay. I mean, because at the time we thought it's a hockey move, and Dale Tallon. Let's be honest, Dale Tallon fired Gerard Gallant, gave up Riley Smith and Jonathan Marchessault literally gave them up in order to make sure they wouldn't get guys like Barkov or Trocheck or anything like that.
Here's the thing that I'll point out here.
Let Paul McFarland walk for nothing.
That's basically the whole point, is that he has made, not the best moves during his tenure as general manager of the Panthers.
Because was he?
But
keep going. I'm going to see it when
Dale
Tallon was hired.
That being said, when you ask, if Panthers brass knew about this, I'm sure that they did, because they have, staff within the bubble that they control media relations and that kind of stuff. They have their PR guy there, or whoever is running that kind of stuff. I'm sure that they knew, because they have to deal with media relations between the team and the players and the coaching staff and all that stuff, and the actual press themselves, because that's what they do.
May 17, 2010 was when Dale Tallon was hired. May 17th of 2010. So he was there for the team that won the division twice.
Okay.
And got bounced in the first round both times.
So I'm sure that they knew about it, and it was just one of those things that he's already probably on his way out.
A Tom Brenneman scenario for the Cincinnati Reds, the guy that said when the mics were hot.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to MLB baseball, but sure.
Yeah, you don't want to. But moving on, I think we should get to the Now, do we want? I said we start off with hashtag AskTKS. Do we want?
Let's start off with hashtag AskTKS.
How about this, Alex? Let's start with the first. Let's start with the first one, and we'll save World Hockey Report's question for later on in the show because it's going to have to do with the playoffs a little bit. I think because we'll have time to probably jam it in there.
Well, no, let's take care of them all right now. Well, I mean, we got plenty of time. And who is to say that we're not going to have more questions throughout the show? Let's take care of them, the ones that we got.
Well, Dad's
right
in
here.
the chat, which means there's going to be some question about something. I'm probably going to get a text message about a question.
Sure. Why not? If he has a question, we'll answer it. Or if he has a question that we don't want to answer, we'll just not, because we have that capability.
We can just tell Dad no.
Hashtag
not to his face though. Of course.
TKS at Paul_Ryan15 asks, if the NHL played on wooden floors and rollerblades, would you still watch it? To which I respond, change out the wooden floors for
Alex. He asked the question. It's got to be wooden floors.
Then I would say yes. However, I would make the suggestion that you just change wooden floors to inline floors.
No, you got to go with the question, Alex. Wooden floors. Put them on a basketball court.
Inline hockey league.
NRHL. I was about to say, don't you mean the National Roller Hockey League, Alex?
Different things. But yeah, no, I'd watch it.
Hashtag brat chat. That's what Dad's going to go with.
I mean, hey.
That's what he's going with. He's going hashtag brat chat.
Sure.
Make that into a shirt.
No.
We
got plenty of ideas. We don't need that one. But
we got a whole whiteboard.
I mean, if to do that, you'd have a roller hockey league season in the middle of summer, and in normal years you would have.
Don't you mean pro beach hockey, Alex? Remember that '90s thing they tried
with the sloped corners and everything?
Oh my gosh! You talk about made for ESPN2. We're so cutting edge and straight and awesome, cool stuff. We put lowercase letters and make it look all jaggedy and stuff. X Games, but hockey. So,
but no,
I want to know that ESPN marketing pitch. We're going to take the X Games and hockey and put them together.
Well, late September / early October, all the way to about May is regular hockey season.
June-ish, depending
on how things work.
Playoffs and awards. So I'd say July.
Okay,
Canada Day.
Fine, July.
After free agent frenzy, nobody works.
So that's regular hockey season, and then probably about May to, I would say, like August, you have a roller hockey season. You have hockey year round. It's different hockey.
Well, remember, we talked about
normal inline rules are 4-on-4, no offsides, which you'd like. My pen.
There goes your pen. Well, that's what the NRHL was going to do. But
going to do
before
next year.
Right. Before the pause and before COVID and everything. But of course, Alex, we had that idea in retrospect to having the Women's National Hockey League, back when the money was there for everything to happen, and they decided, well, we really quite can't have it to be where we can't have the league now. But the idea was that they're going to be like the WNBA, whereas the WNBA plays in the summer, and the NBA's offseason, you'd have the Women's National Hockey League. And that'd be a good time to have a roller hockey league, in which they were going to do. Yeah. That was the NRHL was going to do. It was going to be very interesting. We're having
think about it.
We're going to have a team down at the Deltaplex.
Yep, the Grand Rapids Warhawks.
You have the Whitecaps, so that's kind of hard at least in these neck of the woods.
I'm talking about hockey. Hockey fans will watch hockey.
Port Huron would have definitely done well.
Because there was the Port Huron Yeti. There were the Detroit Dragons,
which would have been in Fraser.
Correct. They would have been playing at Fraser Hockeyland with the
home of the Motor City Rockers.
They would have the Grand Rapids Warthogs.
Deltaplex.
At the Deltaplex. They would have had the St. Louis Vipers.
Which would have been tough because the Cardinals were there. And, of course, they would have had the XFL still going on as well.
Well, right.
Yeah. So that would have been a little bit tough competition for them.
But also, St. Louis is just a huge market for roller hockey. They had the Vipers back in the last roller hockey, professional roller hockey league.
Was that the NARCH? Or no, well, there was the NRHL. They took a couple of years off before coming back. Well,
I don't think it was the same group. I think it was a different one, maybe.
The NARCH, there was the NARCH, the North American Roller.
I think those were the only I think those were the only 5 teams, unless there was a 6th one.
There were some others. I know Grand Rapids didn't have a team. I know that for a fact. Thomas McCullum was going to be one of the goaltenders for the.
Yeah, no, he was in the NRHL draft, and there was a few other Grand Rapids Griffins or former ones that were set to play for the Warthogs, and I know that they wanted to have a few teams expanded. So maybe, who knows? By the time that they actually have a season next year, they'll have more teams than 5.
I'd be really interested.
I think there was 6.
So
but
Paul,
I'm not sure. I can't think of them.
For your question on wooden floors pretty much on a basketball court, I think you'd have to change the wheels though. You have to have them a little more grippy because obviously basketball court can get pretty slick.
Yeah, you'd have to have like out.
Not outdoor, but
Not
like you'd have
outdoor.
to have a different kind of wheel because the typical roller hockey wheel would just slide around.
Well, you'd have a inline wheel. Inline wheels are pretty grippy.
Not on a basketball court.
Well,
unless you like put like not cornstarch.
That's why I'm saying I would recommend having just regular inline.
Really? Well, that wasn't his question. His question was wooden floors. That's why.
Answer is yes. Thank you for the question, Paul_Ryan15. Next question comes from World Hockey Report.
I wonder who works for them.
We like them.
We like them.
They follow me on Instagram.
Hi, Cody.
Hi, bud.
My hand's too far up. Hi, Cody.
There
There
you
you go. Look at the camera. I'm just like,
World
my hand's
Hockey
like gone.
Report asks, best goalie left in the playoffs currently. Now,
Marc-Andre Fleury. No, I'm kidding. No.
Robin Leonard.
Robin Leonard?
Period.
Well, it's easy to play, Alex. You don't have a sword sticking out of your back. Hey. Hey. Alan Walsh. Ching. Hey. Give it I did there because I stabbed him in the back. Woo! I'm on. I had another cup of Death Wish coffee right before the show, folks. So I'm a little.
Maybe we will actually make that into a shirt idea.
Hey. I don't know how you. Okay, that's the best part. In the chat right now, how do you spell the sound effect? Hey. How do you think you spell that? There's got to be like.
There's got to be something.
If Tyler Burke's watching right now, and I'd love to see him try to spell it because
he's our resident creative type.
Tyler Burke is our resident. He's our resident linguist, not English major by any stretch of the imagination. Love you, Tyler.
Resident sound guy.
Okay, I'll give Tyler this. Tyler is the one that creates all of our logos. So all the logos you see, whether it be on our intro, this TKS logo up here, the Kuehl Show banner logo that we created, he created all of that for us, which is going to be on a thingamabob that I can't quite say right now, even though
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. I keep wanting to say it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hold off. Next week.
Next Monday. We have an
Next
announcement.
week we will be unveiling.
Next Monday, we have an announcement. What? No, we can't say unveiling. You're giving away too much. News.
We'll be unveiling some new news.
What? No, hopefully not nude. That's not the point. You said nude news.
I said new news.
Oh, new news. I thought you added a D in there for some reason. Nude news. I'm like, yeah, this. No, I'm not gonna. No, that's Alex, the host. Figure it out. Get us back on track here.
Tampa, Boston, 3-1 tonight.
Tonight on NBC Sports, it's Tampa versus Boston.
All of the series right now are currently at 3-1, right?
All of them, yes. But it'll be interesting to see
what. Okay, so let's talk about the series. Real quick.
Hold on. Hold on. I think we need to just calm ourselves, Alex.
Do you want to call? Fine. You want to reel? You would tell me to reel us in? I'm like, all right, let's go talking about Tampa and Boston. We got the Bolts, the Bruins.
I was saying, let's just
commercial.
Maybe we should go to break, Alex.
Break before the Bolts and the Bruins because Boston and the Bolts and
the noise and stuff.
You got other B words?
I got some I can't quite say here on the air.
We'll be right back with Boston and the Bolts and the Bruins being better at not being so blatantly belligerent. Bye.
Took you that long to get to the commercial break. Embarrassing.
Esports are here to stay. Go to jazzsports.ag, log into your account, and look for our new esports section on the top of your screen. Browse through all the different available matches and watch them live with our exclusive esports betting platform. Get instant access to game results, pending and graded bet reports, outright bet types, and upcoming match schedules, all at the easy reach of your fingertips. Jazz Sports puts you in the game.
Drink Aid, ready for distribution worldwide.
The FitnessGram Pacer tests multi-stage aerobic capacity. I'm sorry, I had to.
I didn't think you were actually going to start reading the Pacer test.
FitnessGram
He looks at
Pacer
me.
test is a
So
multi-stage
here's
aerobic
Alex
capacity
right now. He's like, you know what we should do? We should. Oh, by the way, welcome back to the Keel Show here on 12 Ounce Sports.
Hi,
Host.
everybody.
You're doing a great job being a host, Alex. Tyler alongside Alex. Why am I hosting all of a sudden?
Because you're good at it sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, listen, I know I do broadcasts. I do my own show. I'm going to be doing actual radio here in a little bit. So
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll be getting paid to talk, Alex, on the radio.
Well,
Until I get fired, of course.
Yeah,
until I get fired. But,
until you get fired.
I mean,
Say something stupid.
I'll never retire from this job, though, Alex. I have to drag my dead corpse out here. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Keel Show.
Oh, sweet Mother Teresa.
Sweet mother.
Okay.
Sweet mother of Teresa. Because she's a woman, too.
Well, yes, but that's okay.
Sweet mother of Mother Teresa. She may not have been a saint, but she gave birth to Mother Teresa.
Do you think that anybody cares about Steve Yzerman's mom?
Yes. Gave birth to Steve Yzerman. And Mama Gretzky, Walter's wife, they love her too.
That's different because he was the greatest hockey player of all times, and they actually had stuff about those two. That's different.
And, the mother of Tim and Cindy Cherry, Rose. Everyone loves Rose. At least I think so. She was popular. She was in a couple of commercials, according to the documentary and stuff and videos.
Would you say that she was popular? Good, because she's Rose and Poppy and Red Flowers.
Yeah, okay. Sure, I'll give it to you just for the sake of, moving on.
Back to the Bruins and the Bolts and not being so belligerent blatantly. And
Now you're trying to,
Boston.
now you're forcing it.
now I am forcing it.
Now you're forcing
Now
it.
I'm not having a damn seizure.
It's a bird, it's a bird.
So, first series we're going to be talking about in the East, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins. Tampa
Really?
is,
Because we didn't get that from
for
the belligerent
some
Bruins.
reason,
By the way,
the
Game
Tampa
5.
Bay Lightning, hold on here. For some reason, the Tampa Bay Lightning have decided to be a hockey team in the playoffs, being not only getting past the first round, not getting eliminated, getting swept in 4 by Columbus. No. They lead the series currently 3-1 over one of the most dangerous playoff hockey teams in the world, the Boston Bruins.
Alex, is this where I tell you that, just 5 years ago, the Lightning were in the Cup final, and 2 years ago, they were in the conference finals?
Did they lose?
Well, yeah, but they made it there and stuff.
Okay, but in recent history, have they done well?
Well, in terms of hoisting the big silver trophy over their head, no. And neither have the Bruins, though. So you talk about the most dangerous team come to playoffs, and the Bruins haven't won jack squat.
Have the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Cup since Martin St. Louis?
Well, no, Alex, because they haven't won the Cup since 2004.
Right, and since then, how many times have the Bruins won the Cup?
Since Rule 48, 0. Okay, wait, next time. When did Rule 48 come into effect?
That's a good question.
Rule 48.
While he's looking
NHL.
that up and get you guys up to speed on the past 2 games, the Bolts won Game 2 4-3 in overtime with Blake Coleman scoring twice and Andre Palat scoring the OT winner. And then Game 3 also went to the Bolts 7-1. Tampa went 3-6 on the power play with Killorn getting 2 goals, 1 assist for a total of 3 points. 2 goals separated by 17 seconds from Palat and Yanni Gourde set the tone for the entire game. That was a brutal beating of
Oh,
the
gosh.
Bruins.
By the Bolts.
Yes.
Belligerent beating. We're sticking with the Bees with this one, even though it's the Tampa Bay Lightning, but they're the Bolts. Hey, you know what? You put a dumb word across your sweater, guess what? We're going to say it. Yeah, the Sens. Remember when the Canes tried? Oh, they still do that. That's right. And the Bolts did the thing as well. What? I was saying, like, everyone trying to copy to be the Rangers. Okay.
I'm just trying to continue.
So, it's funny. It's one of the few games in these playoffs that I really didn't watch. I was watching a little bit of it, and then they went up 3-0. I'm like, okay, they're playing all right. Next thing you know, by the end, like by the third period, I'm like, well, this game's over. So I didn't watch the rest of it. I watched the highlights back, of course, and Tampa on the power play, dominant. 2 goals early on. I think that's what really helps out. When you get 2 goals back-to-back, and we've seen it so many times in these playoffs alone, 2 goals being scored in less than 30 seconds, in less than a minute. You don't quite realize, and we'll get to a little bit later on with the Dallas-Colorado series and how important those 2 goals were in the third period, but anytime that happens, a team gets so rattled because all of a sudden, they're just, after 1 goal, you're just trying to, all right, let's just get momentum back and whatever. Next thing you know, they score right again. It's so deflating to have 2 goals scoring so fast. In Boston, in Game 3, we're not able to recover. And that's why there are some games, there are some games, whether you like to believe it or not, that teams just check out. 5-1, 6-1, you know what? Let's just forget this game ever happened. Let's look at the finer details. Let's move on from here. That's what they tried to do because that's all you can do. If you try to break down all 7 goals in a game, it's more demeaning. It's more painful as a player trying to recover. And but Tampa, they played so well. This is the offense we expected from Tampa Bay. And, after that win in Game 3 where Blake Coleman, had a great game and Andre Palat, I mean, I'm not saying the guy's on fire, but he's had a pretty good series so far. That's for sure. Winning the game in overtime like that gives you a little bit of momentum, and then they were able to carry the offense in. I remember, Alex, what were our picks? I picked Boston in 5. You picked Boston in, did you pick them in 4?
I think
because you and I
go back.
You and I picked. I think I wrote them down. I don't think I put them in the form, Alex. I don't think I put them in the doc.
Maybe not.
I have the text message from them. Actually, I have them on the tweet as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I did text you about that. But
you and I had the same exact
I do agree
picks.
that we both said that Boston was going to win this series, but
because of how physical they were.
Right.
So they won Game 1. It's like,
well, for one, they've always been a physical team, especially in the playoffs, and they're
allowed to get away with stuff in the playoffs.
They've done well. And I think, they looked quite strong against the Canes. There were places where they were a little bit, shoddy here and there. Losing your starting goaltender isn't always the biggest confidence booster at all, no. But that being said...
But Halak looked just fine.
Halak looked just fine when playing against the Canes. And losing 3 in a row, and I didn't talk about this before because I wanted to actually put a lot more focus on it. The reason why the series is at 3-1 is because 3 games in a row, Tampa has won, with Game 4 going to the Bolts 3-1. Plus opened the scoring up with a nice pass from Point, and then adds another one in the second. But there was one thing that we need to talk about this, and it's something that could possibly be suspendable is
there was talk of it being suspendable. It is not anymore.
Is it not anymore?
Describe the play, Alex, and we'll go from there. I think it's funny, quickly.
I'd have to rewatch it because it was just...
you go ahead and pull it up, and I'll break down the first couple goals. First of all, Braden Point, I like to put the notes in so Alex reads them off for you. Braden Point, the goal for Palat, listen, like I said, 3 goals in 3 games for the kid. I say kid like he's younger than I am. But Braden Point, nice toe drag in front. He's been on fire.
We have to remember, nowadays in the NHL, that's kind of how it is sometimes, where a lot of these star players are younger than you.
Well, that is true. I mean, it's not like we go to USHL games now and just yell at a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Or just yell at a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds.
Yeah, so essentially what happens...
Well, hold on. Let me get to the goals here.
Okay,
you watch it back entirely so you get a good feel, because it was behind the play. You wouldn't, if you're watching the main feed, you wouldn't have seen it. But Palat with the goal, and then he scores another one, and it goes off the glove of Halak. And I think that 7-1 game really did a number on Halak. He did get pulled for, I think it was Vladov, was the goaltender who is the backup right now for the Bruins. He even had his Providence mask on. That's how fresh he is. But we found out who the goaltender for Providence was, Alex. He didn't get pulled, though. Halak did, not him.
Okay.
I can't believe
just got to make sure.
Can't believe the Canes couldn't do that to him, so I didn't look like a fool. Another 4-letter word, such letter F, Alex. You know, it is another one. But no.
Fine.
I'm going to punch you. But now Halak is starting to look a little bit vulnerable, which leads to this play that Alex is going to describe.
Yep. So what happens was the play is on the near side boards for those that are watching on TV.
Nicholas Ritchie
delivered a late hit, as it's being described, on Yanni Gourde, who's a defenseman for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Gourde
Gourde's a forward, but Gourde was covering. He was back in position. He's a forward, but he was playing back covering defense.
I thought he was a defenseman.
Nick Robertson is not a defenseman, Alex.
Fair point.
Eric, fair point.
So
That's how you do it, Alex?
No, it's like the.
Yeah, got to get it close to the mic so I can hear my fingers smack.
But so Gourde brought the puck and sent it up the boards. And about a good second later, Nick Ritchie decides to hit him.
Cam Jansen style.
On the side, so side swiping, if you want to call him that. And Gourde then goes headfirst into the boards, right on the near side. And he was laying there for quite a bit, had to be helped up to his skates. Nick Ritchie was assessed a 5-minute major for that play.
And a game misconduct.
Which
is why they didn't give him suspension, because he already missed the majority of game 4, excuse me. And which is funny because my buddy Freege just tweeted out that no Sean Corrali or Nick Ritchie for the Bruins here in game 5 coming up here in about 22 minutes. Listen.
So they might as well have just suspended him.
No, sometimes that is an honest, line of move. You're a desperate team right now. You're on the brink.
I'm just saying it wouldn't have made a difference.
Listen, if the Bruins had another goaltender, they'd use him. This would be the game where Halak would come in if Rask had been playing like Halak through the last couple of games. Now, I get it. This is a bad hit. It's a blindside hit. The problem I have is that Bruce Cassidy, after the game, Alex,
okay.
You ready for this?
Here we go again.
Bruce Cassidy, former Griffin. He was one of us, Alex. One of us. You were maybe too young to remember, but he's one of us.
Well, I know who he is.
You were. Okay, you know who he is because I keep telling you about him.
Well, no.
Back in the old IHL days, we had this guy named Bruce Cassidy.
I also have father.
Yeah, you got dad too. But he comes out to the media after the game, and you say how Brian Burke's not there. He does a full Brian Burke. Well, Yanni Gourde laid there, and I'll be honest, they did make the decision to call it a major after the hit. Now, yes, I've always complained about this about officials, that they make the call after the play. Now, they did review it because nowadays, after the whole Joe Pavelski incident last year, they can review these kind of plays.
Which I agree with.
Which is okay. And they reviewed it, and it was, in fact, Alex, a blindside hit, as you saw there. There's no question about it. I don't like the fact that the league or the Cassie says, he was fine and came back later in the game. Listen, he went to the dark room, as far as I know. He went off the bench, he came back, and they cleared him to play.
Well, yeah.
Not every blindside hit leads to a major concussion. Let's just mention that. But
thankfully, yes. But no, that's part of protocol is that every single NHL game has concussion spotters.
Yep.
So whenever
especially here in the playoffs.
So even if it's a play where a player gets hit and there's no penalty called or anything, they'll just straight up call down to the bench and say, yeah, you need to pull him off the bench and he needs to be put through assessment protocol. That's the world we live in right now.
Which is good.
Not only is it for the NHL, it's for sports like the NFL and football, American football, excuse me.
Well, the NFL is kind of
they
don't kick players. They don't kick players out of the games. Well, they do have the dark rooms on the sidelines. I do see that.
Right. They have that protocol there, though.
But they don't kick players out of the games like they do in college football, which I think they should do personally. But that's just me. I know I'm a little.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game for a whole different day.
Whole different podcast. But you're going. So you're still going. My bad.
Oh yes. So my point is that yeah. So, like you said, not every situation leads to stuff like this, but continue with what Bruce Cassidy had to say.
I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he was complaining about the fact that it should not have been a major penalty. And listen, it had every right to be. It's a blindside hit. And I just find it funny. I won't go full tilt, Alex. I won't do it for the folks at home.
Please, not again.
I'm not going to do it again. But
it's just this playoffs.
It's just ironic that a member of the Boston. Remember when Brad Marchand ducked Sammy Salo?
It was
Salo in the 2011, the season after they won the Cup. And Claude Julien said, maybe you guys should take runs at each other. Where Sammy Salo just gliding at him, just going like 2 miles an hour, and Marchand just low bridges him. Yeah. I find it funny when Bruins coaches or Bruins players, Bruins fans say, "Oh my gosh, that guy it wasn't a bad hit at all." No, he blindsided him. I'm sorry. I get it. Mark Savard was one of your boys. Mark Savard, and this is what started Rule 48, Alex, was Mark Savard's hit. Or Matt Cook brained Mark Savard, which, by the way, I did look it up. Rule 48 was instituted after the 2010 season.
I mean, Nathan Horton was also a Bruin.
Nathan Horton, yes. And he was such a good player, too. And which was
Boom,
against
headshot.
which was against Vancouver in that game. I think it was game 1 of that 2011 final, wasn't it?
It was.
Yes. So I get it. They have a reason to be mad. But when but you know what it's like to have a player get injured because of that. The ref sees a blindside hit after reviewing it. It's a penalty.
It is funny that it's another Boston player or coach or media person that has something to say about it.
It's exactly.
I think it should have been a 1-game suspension, purely on the basis that, you can't be making those plays.
Nope. No,
regardless. I mean, you can make the argument that he basically lost a game after being ejected from that one, but
Ryan McDonough, by the way, according to Chris
nevertheless,
Johnston, on the ice for warm-ups for the Tampa Bay Lightning, has not played since game 1 of this series. So,
okay,
so according to CJ, some lineup changes here.
possibly. Good to know.
Getting y'all ready to go. We got
you have to remember, NHL allows for as many players as you want to warm up.
Trust me, you know how excited I was to watch Connor Carrick in Detroit. I'm like, Connor Carrick's going to play tonight. Martin Burns is going to... Wait, hold on. There's like 10 defensemen out there. That's when I realized that.
You're like, oh.
They're not all going to play tonight.
No.
I would have loved that when I was at Davenport. Third-string goaltender. At least let me skate around a little bit out there for warmies. I don't need to play. Just let me skate around and dress and make it look like I'm part of this team, and I'll go put my suit on and hang out up top.
Sure.
I would have loved that.
But
I got to text Greener now and tell Greener, I got an idea.
No, I got to text him too. So.
Well, you got to text him for work. I text him because I have a grievance.
I'll send him an email because I feel weird texting Greener.
Greener, you'll learn. Oh, I got over that pretty quickly.
I can't call him Greener to his face.
Yeah, you can't do that. Not until you don't work for him anymore. After you can.
I have to get the A-OK from him personally.
I still text him. I say Chris, but when I go up to him in person, I say Greener. Hey, Greener.
Well, I mean, that's how I refer to him in person. It's just the fact that now that I'm going to be working for him and stuff, it's like,
hi, hello, Mr. Chris.
Hi, ho, Mr. Chris Bossman. How you
doing? Hi, ho, nitty ho. Give him the old.
I don't want him to bag skate me if I call him Greener.
Listen, I'll tell him you can't skate. He'll make you run the stairs. Won't matter. No matter what, you'll be.
First of all, I can skate. That's not a problem. Second of all, Game 5 between the Bolts and the Bruins is tonight at 7. So in about 15 minutes here, Ty, Bolts go on to next round. Go on to conference final.
We got to go each series here. I'm not going to do the Herb Street deal. I'd love to say for the end to say who moves on, but obviously by the end of the show we could see how widespread the game could be.
This team right here has a lot of potential, but also
you're not John.
They're playing the Boston Bruins.
They're playing the Boston Bruins.
Bring me the lightning bolt helmet.
Go full Lee Corso here. Give me that. No.
Give me that.
Give me that Bumblebee. What is he? What's the name of the mascot again? Is it Thunder?
I think it's Buzz.
No, I don't remember.
Bolt? I don't know. I'll look it up. Sure, why not?
It's not Bolt. I thought it was Thunder because they used to play in the Thunderdome down there.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Mascot.
Tyler, who do you think's going to win?
I think, I got time, Alex. We had about 15 minutes before we even get to the game. What's the mascot? Just search mascot.
I'm just
MASCOT.
Give the people something to listen to.
They can hear me spell mascot. M-A-S. M as in Mike.
Thunderbug.
A as in Apple. It is
Solid.
Thunderbug. I knew it had something to do with thunder because they created it when they were in the Thunderdome, which for the longest time, I think it still holds the record.
Welcome to Thunderdome.
Which,
continue.
Have you seen any of that WWE stuff in the Thunderdome? Looks pretty neat.
No, I have not.
But
I don't care about it.
Because I believe they still hold the record for the most attended indoor hockey game because they had almost 24,000 inside that Thunderdome in Tampa. Way back in the day. But
Back in the day when the man was born?
Back in the day when the man was born.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to start singing it. But
thank God.
I like, because you know what's going to happen, Alex. I'm going to say, Well, Boston's defeated. Tampa's going to wipe the floor with them tonight. And next thing you know, Boston forces Game 7 in a couple days, and I won't be able to talk about it on Thursday.
Fair.
But I think Boston's going to have a little more jump in their step. Obviously not having guys like Richie and Corrali in there. Obviously, Cassidy's looking for a different matchup. They will not be the home team tonight. Tampa will have the last change, and I think that's why he doesn't want to have guys like Corrali and Richie out there. He wants to have guys that can try to hold up with Tampa. I don't think Boston, though, can out-Tampa Tampa. That's why we believed, Alex, that Boston was going to win this series so easily because they were going to play physical and hard. But Tampa, with that Game 2 win and that Game 3 shellacking, has taken over this series and has been able to play their game. And Andrei Vasilevsky, listen, I know I razz on him, Alex. I say he shouldn't be a Vezina candidate. However, he is looking elite. See what I did there? See what I did there, Alex? Yeah, elite.
Yeah. For the first time in how long?
I'm trying to figure out the last time I wore this shirt. I did wear it on one of the...
I was talking about Vasilevsky, not you.
Oh, yes. Well, in terms of being an excellent goaltender, I mean, he's been solid. Where was my stat?
He's been spotty. He's been spotty as a Dalmatian.
Where was...
101 Dalmatian is spotty.
According to Sportsnet stats, Vasilevsky is 8-1 with a 1.87 goals against average, .931 save percentage in his last 9 postseason starts against the Bruins. And I believe they played each other in 2018. If I'm not mistaken, 2018 playoffs.
I still think he's been a spotty goaltender. So
during the season, yes, but he's been looking good in the last couple of games. You know, he allowed a couple
after a solid break.
Well, he played a couple of fuddy-duddy games in the series against Columbus, and he didn't look all that impressed. I'll be honest. Yes, the Bolts only lost one game in that round robin, but he didn't look like a magnificent goaltender, which is why I'm like, well, that's why Columbus.
Not every team was playing hard in those games, though.
Well, Boston wasn't. Then they beat up Carolina, and now they look like Carolina now in this series, where now Tampa's got a stranglehold.
I am certainly under the impression that the Bruins losing those games was on purpose.
The round robin games?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't deny it. Well, the way they came out against Columbus, you kidding me? I don't think Columbus was that tired after that series against Toronto. Yeah, they played a couple of overtimes, but I really had a firm belief that, when Boston against Carolina, I think they saved themselves. And Carolina looked so good. Sorry, I got Tampa and Columbus mixed up.
You're good.
Boston and Carolina, I thought Carolina came out so well coming out of that qualifying round. They swept the first round. They were smacking around the range like it was nobody's business. Yes, they ran to Henrik Lundqvist, who was playing outstanding. But
ran into him, ran through him.
Well, they had to go through him because they weren't going to be able to beat him going around him, let me tell you. But it was a tale of two cities. But at this point in the series, I don't know if Boston has enough left. I think this team is tired. Yes, they had 4 months off, but they look tired. Yes, compared to where the Lightning are hitting their stride. If Tampa wins tonight, this series will go 7. Or not Tampa. If Boston wins tonight, this series will go 7. Caught myself. Obviously, if Tampa wins tonight, the series is over. That said, whoever scores first wins the hockey game.
Okay.
Whoever scores first wins the hockey game, and I'm going to say, just because he's been on this ridiculous hot streak, Andre Palat, make it 4-5.
Sure.
Or 5-4. 5-4, excuse me.
Sure.
Because he scored
for it.
2 goals in the last game. Gets another one here tonight. And Tampa sends themselves to Edmonton.
2 things I'll say about this. 1, historically, I would say when the Bruins are playing a playoff team, the conversation has always been, how is Team X going to out-hit the Bruins? How are they going to play Bruins hockey better than the Bruins? I've personally said that with the Hurricanes, how physical they were.
With the Leafs.
With the Leafs. And, the Hurricanes in their series with the Bruins, they played physical. Svechnikov was a huge part of that before he was, taken out due to the injury.
I wonder what Jack Edwards thinks about that.
Shut up. That being said, you take that away, and the Bolts have they've just been playing Tampa Bay Lightning hockey.
Did you forget what their name was for a second?
Tongue's not working right now.
You say
the
Rays? Hey, the Rays are looking pretty good. They're leading the AL East. Regardless, continue.
Sure. Baseball's weird. And
Baseball. Jays for the playoffs.
Toronto teams suck.
No. Toronto.
No.
The Jays are above 500.
Let me go. So that's the first part, is that the Tampa Bay Lightning have just been playing Tampa hockey. They're not trying to out-Bruins the Bruins.
Bruins the Bruins.
That's one thing that they've done right with this. And the second thing, the one thing that you're talking about is, yes, the Bruins are looking tired right now. And I still think that even though, yes, the playoffs are still a grueling thing, I want to say that whoever wins this Stanley Cup, the 2019-2020 season Stanley Cup, should have an asterisk next to their name, purely on the basis that
It was harder?
yeah, I
It
would
was
say
harder?
so.
You had to win
Because-
more
but-
games?
well, it's not even the fact that you have to win more games.
Well, except for
It's the-
Tampa and
it's
Boston,
the fact that I don't know if it's called quarantine fatigue or quarantine sickness at this point.
Well, we are learning that it's obviously a very big mental game being in this bubble. It's very tough.
Right. That's what I'm saying is that when you're being around the same teammates during an entire season and doing road trips and stuff, that's one thing.
Being stuck in a hotel for 2 months,
It's
another.
a completely different ball game here. So I think that's a huge reason why Boston looks so tired, because they haven't underperformed like this in the playoffs for quite some time. Even though, yes, they're
well,
a
I
little
would
bit
say
older.
I would say 2017, Alex, when they got beat up by Ottawa in the first round.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, I'm talking in the span of the past, like, 5-10 years.
They lost to Tampa in 2018. That's right. I'm like, who did they lose to in 2018? That was Tampa. That's right. But
you get what I'm saying.
right.
Boston has been a perennial powerhouse when it comes to playoff hockey.
They
They've
can play typical traditional playoff hockey.
Right. Every single year, they've been always put up as a team that could possibly win the cup. And right now, they're looking very
beating up.
vulnerable. They're looking very weak and battered and bruised. And the Bruins and the Bolts and you know what? The
Is
one,
there
one B,
a
there's
synonym
one B
for
that I missed? It's Tampa Bay.
Is there a synonym, not cinnamon, synonym for old that starts with the letter B? Is there? Because we should get that word in there too.
What?
A synonym for the word old, because that's what the Bruins are. They're getting old. Is there a synonym that starts with the letter B for old?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Well, I can tell you right now, their talent level is benign. Benign. There we go. I found another B word we could use. The benign Bruins are going to get beat up belligerently by the belligerent Bolts
Of Tampa Bay at Scotia Bank Arena.
And they're going to go to No, there's nothing there. There's Place. Oh my gosh, my P's. My P's are the worst on a headset. Not B's. I'm trying. P. You have to like breathe in when you say the like P's.
It's not just you; it's everybody. It's
I know, it's
because
so
it's how
hard.
you have to say it. It's also the same thing with
Blowing
how,
so much air out.
how, especially in the Midwest, how we use our S's.
Well, everyone adds an S to everything. Myers, the secretary. Well, the secretary.
Well,
of
no,
State.
not just that. I'm talking about how
Give me a Labatt.
how we actually say the S. We make the
Secretary
sound.
of State.
It's piercing into a microphone. It's not just you. You're not the only person in the world, Ty. You're not the main character
It's funny.
of the show.
They don't say
It's
secretary.
me.
It's not secretary of state.
Side
It's
character.
secretary of state.
It's not Secretary of State. It's Secretary of State.
Secretary of State. There's no
Exactly.
there's no of.
Secretary. No, there is
Secretary of
there
State.
is a of. We
But
just
no one
put an
says
A
it.
there. It's Secretary State.
Secretary of State. We're going to the Secretary of State's office today.
Next series, we'll talk about the.
There's no
only-
DMV in Michigan, by the way.
No, there is no DMV. It's Secretary of State.
Andrei Vasilevsky right now, 9th in goals against average among playoff goaltenders, 198 right now. Just like
Great.
Brad Marchand, 7 points. That's tied for 7 goals, tied for third. I'm just going to get the stats here. No top 10 point getters, though, for the Boston Bruins. And again, they start off slowly offensively anyways.
Next series we're going to be talking about is the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders.
Bye Bruins
Islanders-
fans. Bye Bruins and Bolts fans, by the way. Well, they're going to go watch the game probably.
Oh, probably. Yeah, you got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That being said, Islanders are leading the series 3-1. They won game 1 4-0. Flyers won game 2 in overtime 4-3. Islanders winning games 3 and 4, 3-1 and 3-2 respectively.
Yes.
Didn't I pick the Flyers to win this one?
We both did. Don't forget, Alex, we had the same picks.
Dude, we're sucking.
You're the one trying to make a comeback here. I'm kicking your butt. Can we pull it? Do I have the stat line back up here?
You may.
Do I have it here? I got it right here. Look at this, guys. Look how bad Alex is far behind, and he picked the same ones I did. You know what, Alex? For the sake, I'll say this now. When we get to the conference finals, I will pick not the teams you picked, just so you have a chance.
No.
Well,
you should pick the teams who you think.
Well, then I'm
going to
win because I'm up by 3.
That's
Alex.
fine.
There's going to be
means
3
you
series
made
left
better
after
picks.
this because I am better. I know, Alex.
You're not better. You're just better at picking who's going to win playoff series.
That is true. That is true. I am better at picking the right series, even though right now,
or at least for this year.
Well, not this round, because I can tell you right now, I picked the Bruins, I picked the Flyers, I did pick Vegas, and I picked Colorado. Hey! Seriously, how do you spell that?
I don't know.
Is there an E-Y-E?
Check the chat.
No one's commented on it yet. Tyler clearly tuned out because he didn't come up with some configurative spelling. I'm in his wedding in a couple weeks, by the way.
What?
Tyler's getting married in a couple weeks. I'm in the wedding.
Oh, that's right.
I got to go pick up my suit.
Sure.
Suit. To look spiffy.
But no, this is... Honestly, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to this series. But
this has been, honestly, the most boring series.
But this is the series that I haven't cared as much about, but to the same token, I also am very surprised about. I really thought that the Flyers would have a lot more chutzpah, if you will, and just a lot more grit or gritty to be able to pull this off. But I guess the Islanders have just been just good enough to push back, to fly past the Flyers. How about that?
There you are. Well, listen, the Islanders in Game 1, I watched it in Denver at the bar with some friends, and it was like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe some jitters because this Flyers team is still, in terms of deep playoff runs, is relatively new. And then the Islanders win, okay, and then the Flyers come back with a big win in Game 2. Kevin Hayes with a pair of goals, Sean Couturier giving them a 3-0 lead. Islanders, though, came all the way back to tie the game. Then Philippe Myers on Thomas Greiss, by the way, because remember Varlamov got pulled in that game. Weird skip shot, ends up winning the game. Like, all right, Flyers are back in this thing. And just after that, the Isles just shut down the Flyers in the way, just the Islanders. This is like Barry Trotz. I'll get to him more in a second to the question we were given before the show. His system, this is his team. With Washington, he had to use guys like Ovechkin, Backstrom, Oshie, all these offensive talents to turn them into a slightly better defensive team to win a cup. This is his baby right here. He's like, I'm going to take this team of nobodies and turn them around. And listen, who scored the big goals in that Game 3? You had Matt Martin scoring his 3rd of the playoffs, by the way, a guy that just never scored for the Leafs in the playoffs. Then again, he didn't play.
Former Leaf great.
Former Leaf great Matt Martin. Leo Komarov, there's a former Leaf great. Former All-Star Leo Komarov scoring to put the Isles ahead. And then Anders Lee caps it off with a power play goal in the 3rd. What?
Matt Martin, former Leaf great, terrible at French.
Terrible. Oh, gosh. That was the... we'll get, okay. Yeah, we'll mention that now.
Well, yeah.
Well, okay, so
actually,
last question from TVA, which is pretty much the French CVC, if you will. That's the one that broadcasts the national games in French. And I think Patrick Aline works for them, if I'm not mistaken. He's an analyst.
Possibly, but here. So what happened was, it was the last question of the media scrum for at least Matt Martin.
Well, Matt Martin and some other guy.
And
was it Komarov?
I don't know who was his counterpart in that, but it was the last question for Martin, and they're like, "Yeah, we have one more question from whoever TVA," and then all of a sudden I get real confused listening to it, and I also see
the guy says his name and everything in English. All of a sudden, French.
Yeah, he just goes for it all in French, and the number of people that I've seen post just saying literally the words. The pure horror in Matt Martin's eyes.
Okay, you ever want to know the separation between English and French Canadian? That was it. Matt Martin, who is from Ontario, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think he's from Ontario, but he everyone takes French in school in Canada. I chose to take it. Alex chose to take it as well. He's from Eastern Detroit. He's from Windsor.
Yeah. So as American as Canadian can get.
Yes. And he was just lost. And it literally me every French test I ever took.
His eyes literally shot open like,
what am I supposed to say here?
It's like
we.
It's like when you're in the club,
bien.
right? When you're in the club with your homies.
Wow, where are we going with this one, Alex?
And you go to hit on a guy or a girl. And then they just like turn around and they start speaking a completely different language, and you're just like,
oh.
then you start trying to use some really crude form of sign language, and that probably doesn't work. But moral of the story, you're scared.
Because somehow they know sign language, and then you realize you're probably offending them in a different way than if you tried to speak.
Oh, that's a whole different story. Not only did they not hear what you said, but now you can't understand them. So you're just like, I can't offend you by speaking not sign language, but pure horror as he's just trying to, and I'm going to say trying to answer this question. And he obviously, I didn't hear his actual answer, but just
I'm pretty sure he asked it in English after, because you only see the French.
I hope so,
because boy, he probably realized halfway through. I'm sure he asked it in French first because he works for TV. He works for TVA. And obviously, there are French people that are watching. So obviously, you ask it, like in Montreal, whenever you watch a game, the announcements are made in both French and English. Same thing.
Yes.
And, I know the anthem is sang in both French and English in Ottawa. I don't know about the PA.
Well, because it's the capital.
Right. But it's also in Ottawa, people forget.
No, the PA
is right there.
The PA at Senators games is in English, but
if you make a wrong turn in Ottawa, folks, you're in Quebec. That's how close it is. That's close to the border. But regardless, back to Game 3.
It's almost like it was supposed to be that way.
Carter Hart he wasn't bad, but the 3 goals were just little squeakers. Like, he made some big saves early on in that game. But, Varlamov outplayed him. So they play Game 4 yesterday. And back-to-back, so Thomas Greiss gets the start for the Islanders, Brian Elliott for Philadelphia. And that's relatively okay. Thomas Greiss, though, don't forget, Alex, has not started a playoff game, despite making the one appearance in Game 2. Has not started, Alex, since, ready for this? 2016. And since then, I have been on the Thomas Greiss is overrated train because, hey, he's not a 1A goaltender. He's not a starting goaltender in this league.
No, he's a backup.
Because people forget that 2016 Islanders team, for 75% of that year, was led by Yaroslav Halak. Halak started to go down. Jack Capuano says, you know what, let's try Greiss. You know what, sure. And Greiss, fresh as a daisy, leads them into the postseason. They beat the Atlantic Division winning Florida Panthers. I have to keep saying that because they won the division. Roberto Luongo. No. John Tavares decided, I'm just going to win this thing. There you go. And Thomas Greiss, all of a sudden, hey, he's a starting goaltender. We don't need Halak anymore. He can go down to Bridgeport, whatever. We're fine. We're going to take it all the way. And nothing. Barry Trotz comes in. Greiss's numbers goes up. Obviously had Leonard last year carrying the load. This year, similar deal. Greiss is a good 1B goaltender. Varlamov carries the majority of the load, but you need him in a back-to-back situation. With back-to-back games, you need to have him fresh. Greiss, outstanding yesterday. 36 saves, Alex, in his first win since the 2016 playoffs. Was outstanding. And this game was a back-and-forth game. By the way, I mean, play was on one side of the ice. Islanders control the first period. 18-7 were the shots in the first period in favor of the Islanders. Brock Nelson scores on a beautiful shot that I don't think Brian Elliott even had a chance on because he was screened. Second period, Flyers come back, Alex. They fly around the ice. 17-3 were the shots. As good as Brian Elliott was in that first period to keep the Flyers in the game, because I don't think Elliott played bad at all. Elliott made 30 saves in the game. Thomas Greiss was just that much better. Greiss was out. He was making big save after big save. Alex, how would you describe Greiss yesterday?
Phenomenal.
There you are. But
never would have guessed it.
Sean Couturier gets
Actually never would have guessed it in this case.
Well,
it's because it's Greiss.
It's true. You wouldn't. Well, I expect him to be good, not that good.
Well, that's the point. You never would have guessed it.
Couturier scores on a nice tip, but there were so many good chances in that second period for Philadelphia. I don't think we can overestimate and over-compliment the way Greiss played last night. Obviously, tomorrow, you're probably going to see Varlamov in net. But now, as Barry Trotz looks and he says, all right, we gave Greiss an opportunity to play. I see now that he can be a goaltender going forward. And listen, of the 4 remaining teams, this is the best tandem in New York. Simply because of the fact, look at it this way, Alex. Boston going into the playoffs, you're right. Tuukka Rask, Yaroslav Halak. Tuukka goes home. So it's just Halak and a goaltender from Providence. Vegas, still pretty good. Marc-Andre Fleury getting the win. That's okay. Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Leonard still looking pretty good. But I don't think Fleury looked as good as Thomas Greiss did. And then you have Colorado. They did have Philip Grubauer and Pavel Francouz. Grubauer gets hurt. Philadelphia, Brian Elliott and Carter Hart. Well, Greiss beat Brian Elliott. So I think that proves that he's the better backup in this scenario, or 1B, whatever you want to call him. It looked like, honestly, that if I'm not saying if Varlamov was in net, the game would have been different. But if Greiss slips up and does not have a standing game, Alex, we're talking about right now that this series would be tied at 2 because they had so many chances to the Flyers in that second period. They only got the 1 goal, and it looked like, all right, it's a 1-1 game going into the third. This could be interesting. And then JG Pajot gets on a break and just sneaks it by Brian Elliott. And Brock Nelson scores a second game to seal it. Ivan Provorov did score a goal late to make it interesting, but it was too little too late. I love the way Thomas Greiss played last night.
Who would you say, Tyler, is as of right now the key factor in the Islanders being successful?
Are we talking
winning the series?
Now, hold on, because I know this may pertain to the question.
Depends on your answer. Depends on your answer.
On the ice, of who's in the lineup, who's dressing, I'll go with that because, like I said, we'll get to the question here in a second. For me, it's I don't want to say Brock Nelson just because he scored 2 goals yesterday, but it's the depth and the grinders. JG Pajot, big trade deadline pickup. And then you have Anders Lee, Captain Anders Lee, and Matt Martin banging bodies. Leo Komarov still with an awkward-looking cage on. He's going out there and throwing, like, it's changing the game. Philadelphia does have some good depth players, some good physical pieces. But here's the difference. They've not been nearly as effective as the Islanders have. The third and fourth lines, and that's what we always say in these playoffs. What determines how a team's successful? The Red Wings in the 90s, the grind line. And guys like Lars Eller for the Capitals in 2018. Look at the Hawks teams. Yeah, you had guys like Kane and Taves, but look as you go further down the lineup, guys like Nick Leddy always chipping in there from time to time.
Right.
Those guys are so important for a deep playoff run. You can have your star players do as much as you want, but the Islanders don't quite have those same star players as the Philadelphia Flyers do. So their depth is overtaking the Philadelphia Flyers in this series. Now, Alex, I know this will pertain to the question. I'll let you ask it.
Before we get to the question, because we'll actually finish the question before we go to commercial, do you think the Flyers will come back? I'm going to say no.
Nope. They may win tomorrow night, and
Maybe.
they will play on. Means they'll play on Thursday.
Correct.
So it'll be right after my quick shift edition of the Kula Show. Now, listen, I would love for the fact to have all the teams, all the series end tonight and tomorrow, just so Thursday, Alex and I, maybe a couple other guests, we can all get on here. We can all just start in 1 hour, go through the entire conference finals.
I'm not going to be on Thursday. I've got stuff.
You can't even call in?
Maybe for a little bit, but I got plans.
We got to have a massive meeting, like a big
plans.
video meeting.
I got plans, man.
You're going to clear your plans. We got some
No.
Well, okay. Obviously, I'll say this. Just for your sake, Alex, we don't have to do it. So we don't have to cancel your plans. Philly wins tomorrow night. Philly will win. It'll be a close game. It'll be 2-1.
I don't think so.
There'll be 30 shots between the two teams. It'll be an absolute boring game to watch, but Philly will squeak it out.
I don't think so.
Claude Giroux is going to score in overtime because he hasn't, I'm not saying he hasn't done a thing, but he's not been as effective as he would like to be.
I think the Islanders do it in 5.
You think the Islanders win tomorrow night?
Which is funny because I picked the Flyers.
Isles
sucks.
Isles in 6. I don't think any of these series go 7.
No,
I will. So. Okay, I will say this.
I think the teams that are currently leading each series, I think they're going to win.
The only series that I could see possibly going to 7 is if Boston somehow just finds the Fountain of Youth in Toronto at the Bay on Nathan Phillips Square. They take some drink out of that. They somehow get rejuvenated and they may force it to 7. That's the only series I see. Isles in 6.
Yeah, I don't think any Bruins player would have the smart idea unless your name is Brad Marchand to drink from a public fountain as of right now.
Well, hey.
Then again, Brad Marchand is the person that licks people in the face.
So germaphobe is not necessarily his thing.
No.
Not really something you call him. But yeah,
no,
Flyers, they may win tomorrow. I don't think they'll win. And it's a bummer because I thought Carter Hart's going to do it, and he played well in Game 3. It's just a couple of them goals, man. They're killers.
You just have to think. I mean, people talk about how there was the passing of the torch between Carey Price and Carter Hart. A lot of series that Carey Price played really well in the playoffs and just didn't make it past another team just because.
2011, that series against Boston. Every time I watch that series, I'm like, dang it. Such a good performance. And don't forget, in that
It was stolen. It was stolen away from him by his own team.
And Tampa or Boston was such a good team going to that series.
So
were the Canadians.
The Canadians.
Listen, the 2014 Canadians.
They were good enough. They were good enough.
They were one goal away. You're right. They were one goal away from winning that series.
But they didn't.
Because Nathan Horton. Nathan Horton, and honestly, I hate watching that goal back because I see Carey Price make that save so many times. That's the one that hurts the most. I mean, it doesn't hurt as bad as 2014 because, let's be honest, if Chris Kreider could skate, Montreal wins the Cup that year. I think they beat Los Angeles. But Chris Kreider can't skate. Dustin Karski is like, what am I supposed to do here? And New York goes on, and King Henrik gets lit up in the finals. I mean, I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Eric, fair enough.
Now,
I will say those are the only two series that Carey Price played outstanding in. 2015, not so much.
before we go to commercial break, we do have another question. This is actually courtesy of friend of the show, Harrison Watt.
Member of the Seven Timers Club. Seven.
There you go.
I did my friend's thing for Kelly because I know she watches the show all the time. Sure. Ooh, Tampa's buzzing early. Yeah, see what I did there. Thunderbug.
Gosh.
Thunderbug. Who's calling me?
It's a good question.
231 number. Do you know anyone?
I know that's a Battle Creek number, but
Well, that's also Harrison's number is a 231 number as well.
who knows?
We'll just let that one go. We'll see if it goes to voicemail. Well, I'll check it on the break. That's what I'll do.
If it's worth it, they'll leave a voicemail.
Exactly.
Question was from Harrison: is Barry Trotz the best coach in the history of the NHL since the retiring of Scotty Bowman?
You know, I gave him my answer because he asked the question. I'm like, hey, you got to watch the Kilo show tonight. I'm not going to do that to him. I don't want to. Harrison,
Did he ask today?
Yes, he asked today. That's why I remember. It almost reminded me to put out hey, if you have a question for the show, #AskTKS. Because I had to literally remind myself, did you quit dropping your pen everywhere? Good, you fill more than I do.
It's just the cap.
But here were the things I said about Barry Trotz. Look at those Nashville teams out from the early 2000s that the Red Wings played all the time. Look at who was on those teams.
Rough.
Shea Weber, Ryan Suter.
2-2.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was it. That's David Legwand was their star forward. Early on, it was Tomas Vokoun was their starting goaltender. Yikes.
And then Rene.
Hold on, I'll get to it. Not the 2008 team, Alex. The team that had guys like Jason Arnott and old as heck Radek Bonk and Dan Ellis. Daniel Ellis was a starting goaltender at one point in the National Hockey League, Alex. And Barry Trotz's systems, his defensive structure, was able to win hockey games. He got a better goaltender coming in Pekka Rinne. They have that run in 2012. If they beat Arizona, I think they beat Los Angeles. Listen, I'm not against Los Angeles, but I'm just saying if certain teams won certain series, Los Angeles would never win a Stanley Cup. I'm sorry. Saying it, and I'll say it, Alex. But the way he was able to take teams, and listen, this is a franchise that traded away Martin Erat because they thought he was a great player, and Washington thought Martin Erat was a great player. They got Philip Forsberg. He didn't really flourish until after Barry Trotz went to Washington. But he was able to take mediocre teams and turn them into better teams. Let's put it this way. 2017 Nashville Predators, the team that made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, Alex, with Peter Laviolette behind the bench, PK Subban just firing rockets from the point. No Shea Weber, they didn't need him. Philip Forsberg, Victor Arvidsson, Mike Fisher, who is, dating that one chick, or married to that one chick. That team was so good they made it there. Barry Trotz's team would have won it. If Barry Trotz is behind the bench, I think that team wins it. They were that talented enough and a perfect structure defensively. He would probably be able to rein in PK Subban, and Pekka Rinne was Pekka Rinne in that series. There were a couple games he could have had better games, but they still had a chance to win that series. I think they would have won. The 2017 Capitals, had they not ran into the Pittsburgh Penguins, with Barry Trotz behind the bench, President's Trophy winning Barry Trotz and the Washington Capitals would have won the Stanley Cup that year. Had they.
But you still had so much talent in comparison.
Because here's the thing, because that was only, Alex, can you quick look up when Barry Trotz was hired by Washington?
Sure.
Because that team was incredible enough to play so well during the season and then just in the playoffs. Yes, they looked a little interesting against the Leafs, but then again, I don't think they took the Leafs seriously in that first series. And they just ran into Pittsburgh, who used to be just hit Wikipedia. It should be okay. Yeah, no, I just said Wikipedia as a source. Leave me alone, guys. It's just for the quick.
Wikipedia is a good source. Shush.
I love the way he coaches. And look at now. So he wins the Cup because he was able to really rein in all of the Capitals. 2014, right?
Yep.
2014. Okay. So 2015, they lost to. Who did they lose to? Does it say with his records who they lost to in the playoffs?
I don't know. I mean, I could look it up.
There we go.
You
We'll
keep talking. I'll look it. Keep talking. I'll look at.
No, I want to know who they lost to. They lost to Pittsburgh and they lost to the Rangers in 15.
In 2014, 2015, they lost in the second round to the New York Rangers.
And then they lost the next 2 years to Pittsburgh in the second round because
and then they won.
Sidney Crosby and the Pens we know how to do this. And then they finally beat them in 2018. They win the Cup. I don't know if the 15-16 Capitals could have done it. I think Barry Trout's still trying to figure things out. But what he's been able to do with the New York Islanders, he literally just stepped in and said, all right, you guys suck. Robin Leonard, all right, we can make this work. Thomas Greiss, okay, just sit off to the side. We'll play you when we need you. All right, Johnny Boychuk, you're old. We can get something out of you. Who's this Adam Pelech? You know what? Sure, you play on the right side. Ryan is it Pulak or Pollock? I know a Polak, but you're a Pollock. Ryan Pollock. Sure. You know what? You play on the right side. Here's what we're going to do, boys. Barzell, yeah, you go ahead and score. All right. Andersley, come here. You're the captain of this team. Here's what we're going to do. John Tavares is gone. That's fine. Here's what we're going to do, though. We're going to take this team and turn defensive juggernaut. No offense. We don't need to score goals. We just need to make sure we keep pucks out of the net with the goaltender, and you guys play good defense. All right? Let's go do it. That's what he's been able to do. This team has bought into his system. And yes, did they run into excuse me, COVID? Did they run into a really good Carolina team last year in the playoffs? Yes, they did. They get beat up by them? Absolutely. The Carolina team was feeling pretty good. This year, look how they do. They play in the round robin, just manhandle Florida, which, by the way, is coached by Joel Quenneville. Excuse me.
You good, bud?
Got a hair in my throat. I got a hairball. But listen, they were able to move on. They go into their first round series and pretty much just kind of control the game the way everything went. I don't see this team as a problem. It's weird. I mean, because they beat Washington. Barry Trotz beat his own team because Barry Trotz knew how to beat him. Now look how he's doing against Philadelphia. Jakub Voracek. Does he have a goal? I don't think he has a goal in this series. The top guns for Philadelphia are quiet.
But the question, Ty.
Hold on, I'm getting to the point.
Okay. This has been about 6 minutes.
We got plenty of time. We still got 2 more series to go. We still have well over an hour left in this program on the Keel Show here on 12 Ounce Sports.
Sure.
He has been able to make this team win games with which I remember I told Harrison when I was talking to him, washed up Semyon Varlamov. Old as dirt defense, and let's be honest, on any other team with any other coach, scratches? I don't know if Brock Nelson could be a top guy on another team. I don't think Anders Lee's a captain on any other team. I don't think he's anything more than a fourth liner. Is Matt Martin even in the lineup? Is Leo Komarov playing down in any minor league team?
Well,
maybe.
No, because, Komarov and Martin came from teams where they were perennial healthy scratches.
Not Komarov. Martin was at the end in Toronto. Yes, I do agree with you there. But what I'm saying is he's been able to use pieces that are maybe considered over the hill everywhere else and using them effectively to the point where they're winning hockey games. And he's been able to do that his entire career. And I remember we were talking about this. We looked at guys like Joel Quenneville. Quenneville, who's won 3 cups, Alex. Look at those teams, though. Alex, you could have been the coach for the Hawks. I could have been the goaltender.
No.
And they still would have won.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Alex, how many...
Ty, because here's the thing. Yes, they had star power, but they also had to have strategy.
They did.
Coaching,
but it's easier to have good teams. It's easier to have good teams.
3 things that can win a cup. Coaching, purely. Goaltending, purely. Or star power, purely. If you have all 3, then you're going to win.
Yeah.
They had all three.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Antti Niemi won a Stanley Cup, Alex. Corey Crawford, in 2015 was Corey Crawford's year. 2013, not so much. 2015, Corey Crawford, I'll give him that. 2013, though, nah, yet. Look at a guy like
They had all three.
Team Canada head
I don't
coach,
care.
Alex. Team Canada head coach,
Who cares?
Mike Babcock.
Who cares?
He won one cup. How many series did he win after Nick Lidstrom retired?
0.
One. 2013.
Oh, series?
Series.
Series. Yeah, he won once, and then they lost in the first round to Tampa and Boston.
Tampa, Boston, lost in 2013 to Chicago, lost, obviously, with the Leafs in the last 3 seasons. I forget if there was another coach we were trying to talk about. Obviously, Claude Julien, he's a decent coach, but he's never been able to, since 2011, to win the big one.
Yeah, that's funny because he's my pick.
Claude Julien?
He's the best coach since Scotty Bowman.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Alex, you're wrong.
Tyler? Okay.
Explain to me why. Why? Because he won 8 cups.
Success, Ty. Depth in the playoffs.
2012, Alex, lost in the first round. 2013, they made it to the cup
Boston
finals.
Bruins, 2008, lost in the conference quarterfinals. 2000, that was 2007. 2008, conference semifinals. 2009, conference semifinals. 2010, Stanley Cup. 2011.
No, 20, you're reading it wrong.
2010 and 11.
Yeah, you didn't. You said 2010.
That's what I said.
You didn't say
the season starts in 2010. It's the 2010
Talk about the
season.
2011 playoffs.
Fine,
Won
the
cup in
2011 playoffs won the cup. Then they lost in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2013, lost in the second round in 2014. So, but other than that, he had a solid 5-year run where he was very successful.
He was in the playoffs, yes, but with a good Boston team, a team that was still competitive. That doesn't necessarily mean that he was.
The Bruins were still competitive in the past few years.
But look at the teams Barry Trotz has coached. Name me another player, Alex, besides the name of the Nashville Predators of those 2000s that were not.
If he's
Shea
such
Weber,
a good coach,
Ryan Suter.
why hasn't he won a Jack Adams Award?
He has.
When?
2017 or 2018. Barry, look it up. No, he won it last year.
Did he?
I believe so. Barry Trotz. Just look up Barry Trotz. Go back.
Shush. I can do my own freaking research.
I'm trying to help.
Mouth.
I'm trying to help you. Trying
No,
to prove
shut
you
your
wrong,
mouth.
Alex. Claude Julien's never won, and Jack Adams. Barry Trotz, I believe he's a candidate once again.
Claude
He should
Julien
be.
has won a Jack Adams.
When?
2009. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Claude Julien, 2009 Jack Adams Award.
Oh.
Barry Trotz, let's see. Awards. Let's go. Personal life, internet, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's just, how about we go here because this was an entire list. Barry Trotz, no awards in the past 20 years.
When was this article posted, Alex?
This was posted
2012,
2012.
Alex.
So, well, you know what? Let's
Jack
see.
Adams Award winners. We're going to do this. Here we go. Barry Trotz last year. Yep.
Okay, great. Last year.
Oh,
Cool.
and 2016. Sorry, forgot 2016 with the Capitals.
Okay, fine. He's good. I don't care. I don't like him because he's not on my team. I don't care.
Fine. You're right, Alex.
Fine.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm wrong.
No, screw you. I don't care. Whatever.
I still think Torch is going to win the Jack Adams this year, though.
I don't care.
I know you don't care. I do, though.
You want to know why I don't care?
Why don't you care, Alex?
Because the season doesn't care. The season doesn't matter. The season isn't valid.
It doesn't matter anymore. Torch is going to... Well,
The regular season wasn't a regular season.
It was a season.
It was a irregular season.
It was an irregular season, Alex. Oh, my gosh. That's smart. That's a good move.
In the playoffs, no fans. So players like Kubalik, they're playing good right now. But if you had a true
I miss
playoff
Kubalik.
crowd,
That was a great
I don't
first
think
game
I
of
don't
the
think he would have
playoffs.
played. I don't think he would have played well.
Oh, everybody say played. I'm like, dude, he scored 31 goals. He was going to play.
Well, no, he's going to play. I don't think he would have played well in the playoffs.
Let's be honest. After game 1 against Edmonton, he was pretty quiet. But regardless, Barry Trotz, yes, I agree with Mr. Harrison. Well, he more or less asked me the question. I confirm it. Barry Trotz, best coach since Scotty Bowman. Torch has been good, but Torch has not been great. He couldn't get Vancouver to win. I think that's my telltale sign between the two. Is that Torch was able to
I
win.
still don't like Barry Trotz.
I know.
Eggman.
Eggman, that's your thing?
That's his nickname.
Eggman?
Yeah.
Eggman. I think that's a pretty good name, Alex. I agree with you there. By the way, still 0-0 between Tampa and Boston.
Oh, here we go.
9:08 left in the first period. Shots are 4-3 or 5-4 in favor of the Bruins.
We'll be back after this. Eggman.
Eggman?
Eggman.
Big Bear.
Esports are here to stay. Go to jazzsports.ag, log into your account, and look for our new esports section on the top of your screen. Browse through all the different available matches and watch them live with our exclusive esports betting platform. Get instant access to game results, pending and graded bet reports, outright bet types, and upcoming match schedules, all at the easy reach of your fingertips. Jazz Sports puts you in the game.
Drink Aid, ready for distribution worldwide.
And we are back here on The Keel Show, here on 12 Ounce Sports. Hashtag TKS at The Keel Show to get involved in the conversation.
TKS.
If you are in the chat or you are watching us live, make sure to leave us a comment, leave us something. We need some questions. We want to talk to you people, get you involved in the show.
What
get
are you
involved
doing? What is
the product.
What is this thing? What is
This is for all the fans that are watching. So it makes people that listen to the podcast, it gives them an
They're
extra
getting the fist.
additive to
Get in that chat,
live.
man. Get in that chat. Ooh, fist bumping. Ooh, yeah. Is that what you're trying to do there?
Get
Alex?
your Jersey Shore wannabe looking you know what out of here.
Get in the chat. Get wild. Go crazy. Hashtag TKS. Ooh, yeah. Is that how it goes?
Sure.
You're the one that got all going.
Actually, by the way, I do have some stuff that we can talk about after the two series that we're going to get in the West.
If we have time.
If we have time.
Still 0-0 right now between Tampa and Boston.
We do have an hour left in the show, but we are going to move on to the Western Conference playoffs. The Vegas Golden Knights and Vancouver Canucks. The Knights are leading the series 3-1.
Hey.
The Canucks won Game 2, 5-2. The Knights winning Games 3 and 4. The score being 3-0 and 5-3, respectively, with Game 5 being tomorrow night, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:45 Mountain Time. That being said, I said that the best goalie in the playoffs was Robin Lehner at this point. Well, purely on the basis that now he has 2 shutouts this playoffs. Is that correct?
I think so. Let me check if there's
Future Toronto Maple Leaf, Robin Lehner.
Oh dear gosh. Can we save that for October? Let's see. Who else has
For those of you that are listening to this show or you're not watching it live, I'm decked out in Seattle Kraken stuff. So I'm past this season already.
You're ready for 20. You're right. No,
I'm ready for 2022.
You're not even past this season. You're past next season. Ready for 2021 for that expansion draft. By the way, 6 goaltenders have 2 shutouts. Cam Talbot, Carey Price, Jonas Corposalo, Carter Hart, Semyon Varlamov, and 1 Robin H. Lehner.
And how many of those goalies are still left in the playoffs?
Carter Hart, Semyon Varlamov, and Robin Lehner. 3 of them.
3 guys. And Robin Lehner is the only one that's going to make
Did I ever
it
give
to
an
the
honest
Stanley
answer?
Cup
I
final.
still don't know if I gave an honest answer.
Pick one then.
To the question of the best goaltender.
Pick one, because there's only one right answer. Be honest with yourself. Come on. Name a goalie that at least
If Vasilevsky wins,
at least in this
if
round.
the Lightning win tonight, Vasilevsky. I think Vasilevsky right now he's looking up to par. He's actually looking like a possible Vezina candidate. Now, yes, I know the Vezina candidate.
Is that because
he's playing,
Vegas has a tandem and Tampa doesn't?
No.
Is that why?
I think structurally, I think defensively the Knights are better than Tampa Bay. Because look how many shots some games Leonard was getting. Not just against Chicago.
I mean,
but in this series
the other game he had over 2,000 shots against him.
No, that was Markstrom had 2,000 shots against him.
Oh, that's right. My apologies.
That was the most egregious typo ever. All right, 29 and 30. No, you got to press. Do they actually have to type in the number? That means they have to type in the number because someone clearly just went click 30 enter.
No, they
2,930 shots. Markstrom's having himself. That save percentage is .998 all of a sudden.
I'm sure that there's a ticker that they have to press.
Kucherov has been decked. He is down. Chara. Oh boy.
Ooh. Hey, look, Chara hurt another player.
Who is Russian?
Yay!
Chara, apparently Slovakia and Russia just don't like each other. I missed the play. All of a sudden I saw where Kucherov is up.
Former Soviet states getting back at their hockey players.
No kidding. Jeez. I know that Czechoslovakia was not as good as Soviets, but dang. Kucherov is skating off.
Wait,
He's checking his
Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic?
No, because back in those days it was Czechoslovakia.
Well, yes, it was.
But I'm saying the Czechoslovaks were not as good as the Soviets.
Well, neither the Czech Republic or the Czechs in
not even
comparison
nowadays.
to the Russians.
You're right, Alex. They should go back together. Just
Russians are just better at
They
hockey.
should be the Czechoslovakia again just so they could play together. You know what I mean?
Or they could just be the USSR. Why not? Why not just take another
That's
step?
why I think Team Europe should have had Czech Republic. Czech Republic should not have been by themselves in the World Cup of Hockey. I know it's a take 4 years too late, Alex, but I'm just saying. Because the Czechs just got trounced in the tournament.
Trounced?
Beaten. They were trudging home.
Is that a word?
Trounced? Yeah, trounced is a word. In terms of best goaltender, I'm going to say Vasilevsky, just to get the conversation going through that. Vegas and Vancouver, after game 2, by the way, Tyler Toffoli, 3 points in that game. I thought...
Defeat heavily in a contest. Okay.
Yeah, they got trounced.
Okay.
I think they went to overtime in one game, though. I forget which game it was. But anyways, regardless, now to the present. I thought Vancouver after game 2, I'm like, oh my gosh, this may be a series. And then game 3 happened, and Leonard was like, psych.
Let me just take it from here.
Listen, Alex Tuck with another great goal. Great feed by Watt. Tucked it. Here's my problem with
That's got to be a t-shirt.
Tucked it.
Yeah.
Listen, Vegas Golden Knights. I know you guys don't have the Twitter guy anymore, but hello, marketing. Well, he's marketing.
Hi, how are you? Lovely to see you. My name's Alex, and I can do your marketing for you. My gum is trying to escape my mouth, but it's okay.
It's skated so hard
He's
that
back.
I'm Boston now. What do you high stick him? Oh, I just saw. What? Hold on. Let's
Wait.
explain and play what happened here. Okay.
Now
hold on.
I'm confused. Can you
got-
go back?
So a 4-minute penalty for Chara. So Chara accidentally high sticked Kucherov, and then while Chara was looking over at Kucherov, he got in the way of a shot. It's a double minor for Chara.
Oh, wait. Did he just get did he get beanbagged?
No, he got hit in the leg. And now they're looking at Kucherov. And it's like, what's wrong with Kucherov? He's like, he's bleeding all over the place, Cooper. Cooper's like, what do you mean he can't play? You missed it, Alex. I'll have to let's see if I can pull it up again here on the
Well,
Twitter.
it only happened 30 seconds ago, so you know it's going to be right
Oh, here we
there.
go. Oh, that's right here. Thank you, dude. Here's your replay. So he high sticks him there. He goes down to Chara box. The way Chara falls I shouldn't laugh that hard, should I?
Went down like he was shot.
Get up! Come on, Edwards. Where are you at now, huh? Oh, man, Chara shouldn't be high sticking guys. Maybe karma's coming back to him. That just the way he fell was so funny.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't laugh that much, can I?
Sure you can.
Oh, man. Here's your replay. At the replay guy, he's a great guy. Okay, here it is. Here it is in slow-mo. He high sticks him. Oh, wow. He tomahawked. Well, he didn't tomahawk. The way Chara falls. Oh, man. It's just so funny. He's looking.
He's like, oh, man.
Oh, my. No, it's so, because the high stick's awful. That's got to be.
Like, oh, I'm so good.
Oh, my gosh.
Wait for it. Oh, come on, dude. Oh.
I'm
Folks, you need to watch the
Oh,
replay.
please go to Here's Your Replay at the replay guy on Twitter.
At the replay guy. Shout out.
Okay, I think Chara meant to lift his stick and hook him, but he just stopped him. And karma came back in the form of a 90-mile-an-hour slap shot.
Yeah, so we're going to ask the same question in a different way. Yeah, you take that one. We're going to ask the same question for a different thing. Earlier we talked about E. Can we get a spelling on God, it's like that moment when you land straight flat on your back and you just have the air knocked out of you. Just
Oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever.
There's nothing better than a 7-foot Russian just getting taken down to size.
Oh man.
But no, so getting back to the series, I mean, the one thing that I've really enjoyed about watching this series is the fact that you just calm down here.
It's too funny.
Here,
all right,
take your mic off.
No, I did. I'm good.
But no,
there we go. Okay.
the one thing that I've really liked about Vegas is the fact that they've been able to use both their goalies in winning games, and honestly, I think they have currently the best goalie tandem in the playoffs, which is easy to say because there's only 4 teams that are left, or excuse me, 8 teams that are left. But I think they've been really good at is shutting down the young guns for Vancouver, especially Jack Hughes. When you're taking
Quinn Hughes.
Excuse me, sorry, Quinn Hughes. See,
and don't worry, there may be another Hughes on the way. There's one I think that's just going into the USHL.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. These hockey families need to stop. It was confusing with the Stalls, and then one started sucking.
What about our older fans, Alex? The Sutters. There were 6 of them at one time, Alex.
The Suitors?
The Sutters. No, the Sutters.
Suitors.
No, not Bob and Gary. I'm talking the Sutters. Rich, Daryl. There was Rich, Daryl. I can't remember all of them. There were 6 of them in the league at one time. The Sutters. Daryl Sutter, the coach of the Kings that won the Cups.
Yeah.
His 5 other brothers and him all played at the same darn time.
Okay.
I forget their names. Was Terry Sutter one of them? There's probably 100 of them. Anyways,
there were 6 Suitors.
Sutters. No.
Yeah, that's why I said Suitors.
There are 2 Suitors.
That's
there was
what
Gary and Bob.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They had, and then Gary had Ryan.
Right.
Bob was his uncle.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Bob's your uncle. I'm gonna slap you. Sorry, I retweeted it.
Stop looking at it.
I retweeted it and it won't stop showing up on my feed. Or on the show's feed. My feed shows feed.
Anywho, that Hughes guy and the rest of their younger core players, they've just been shut down by the Knights. And like Tyler, you mentioned, this...
Except Bo Horvat.
Okay, one exception.
Captain Bo. And apparently to Foley.
That being said, Vegas has had a very solid showing from their defense. Top 4 really pushing in, just taking in a lot of work, eating up minutes, and then obviously having, that last line of defense when you need to with Leonard and
Flower.
Good old Fleury.
Now,
regardless of whatever controversy and, agents saying stupid stuff and then having to be told by their athletes, hey, take that down. Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
Shink.
And then having to, pull out a 5-3 win for your team. I like the Vegas Knights' chances right now.
Well,
and then that being said, I like their chances because I'm just going to say it. They're going to win the series. They're going to win.
We picked them, Alex. They have to win the series. Now we're not getting any help from any of our other series.
Well, right, but I'm saying for tomorrow night, they're going to win. They're going to win their series tomorrow night. They're going to finish the series in 5, and they're going to take on probably Dallas, and I would definitely favor Vegas over Dallas.
So,
because, we said that, or at least you said, oh my goodness, is this expansion team, is it a fluke? Were they good for 1 year and now they're bad?
Well, they should have
won. The cap situation is too astronomical.
Well, yeah.
For the Vegas Knights to come back and be competitive.
Well, now, yes. Going future, yes. Mark Stone, don't forget, signed for another 6 years. But 2019, they should have won last. They should have gone all the way last year.
They should, but now.
But the refs, they just decided, we suck at our jobs, especially in the playoffs.
Now, they are hot. They are winning games left and right. And also, too, I just think when you're the Canucks and you've gotten this far, good on you. You did. you did better than people thought you were supposed to do.
Well, they were supposed to beat Minnesota.
They were supposed to beat Minnesota, yes.
But they were not supposed to beat...
Were they supposed to get this far in the playoffs? At the beginning of this...
I picked Vancouver to beat. We both did.
No. What I'm saying is, at the beginning of this season, this team was not suspected to do a whole lot.
Nope.
Correct?
Nope.
That being said...
They were a feel-good story.
They have surprised us. They've been if not the one of the pleasant surprises of this entire season, specifically in the playoffs, of just doing well and having their core of younger guys just stepping up, kind of like how last year with Carolina, how they had, those few players stepping up and being able to do, what they've been able to do. It's been nice. But now the day of reckoning has come, and the team in Vegas is better than the team in Vancouver. You are the lesser of the two Vs. I am sorry. Go home. Bring back that alternate where it's the maroon jersey with the big old V that says Vancouver. I
Skate
like
Blade.
that jersey.
Skate Blade, Kirk McLean, black sweaters.
No.
Bring the white ones back too.
Okay. The Skate Blade.
It's okay. Which one's better? The Vancouver Millionaires or the Marc Messier ones? I have to say Marc Messier because that was that the first or second year they changed the logo.
You mean the Bertuzzi ones?
Those two, sure. Bertuzzi, Sedin ones, I guess we could say. The early Sedin ones. The dark blue with the maroonish, silverish stripes.
False. The Vancouver logo where it's actually like the Canuck. And he's just skating away.
You mean the alternative logo? Oh, the lumberjack or whatever?
Yeah.
Dude,
no, the Canuck. Because Canuck is a slur.
That was the best thing about doing all the K-Wings games last year. They literally just took the Vancouver intro, like Brock Besser and Pedersen, whatever, and just threw a couple of K-Wings guys fighting like in the middle of it. It was kind of funny.
I mean, do what you got with what you got, man.
Hey, man, I can tell you right now, you definitely tell the difference between ECHL, Kalamazoo, and Grand Rapids, which is a feature presentation.
Well, Grand Rapids is just a phenomenal show.
Wait, hold on. What?
Phenomenal. And yes, you would have guessed it. Why? Because they're an amazing organization, and anyone that's able to work there should be blessed.
And also, you were talking, so that word was definitely going to come out of your mouth at least
yes.
5 times in the show.
I mean, I am talking.
That should be a game. If we ever become a drinking game, or at least big enough to have a drinking game, it's the word phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Another thing could be whenever we go off topic.
Well, no, Alex. People won't be able to go to work tomorrow.
Well, that's the whole point.
Oh, that's true.
Tuesday is just going to be a bad day.
That should be a bad day.
Then you have Wednesday and Thursday to recover. Friday night, you're partying. Saturday, you're still kind of partying. Sunday, you have brunch with your mother.
See, Thursday we could do the going off topic. Well, actually, no, I can't because I only have an hour and I have to stay on
that's
topic.
just you by yourself.
Like I said, that'd be a very quiet one because I'd be just going through the entire show.
Now, let me tell you something, guys. It's my favorite quote from you while you're doing your show by yourself. You say that all the time.
Let me tell you something.
No, it's not even let me tell you something. It's like, guys, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, guys.
Is that really my thing?
Yeah, it is.
Oh. Man, I thought I know I say but. I know I say but after a pause. I'll be quiet then. But
you
I'll
do
that.
You do say that a lot.
I do that. I do that.
You said doo-doo.
I say doo-doo. But listen, going back to Vegas, Vancouver here before Alex tries to find more little nuances that I say during my own shows. Vegas's defense is a lot better. The 5-on-3 kill they had in that game 3, huge turning point because let's be honest, if Vancouver scores once, it was a different game at that point. Mark Stone scored a power play goal late in the game to make it a 3-0 game, but at that point, Vancouver had such a great opportunity.
Huge turning point. You say that one a lot. And it's the way you say it too. Huge turning point. You say that a lot. You say it a lot.
But
there it is.
Big change. I like to think that if Vancouver gets a goal there, it's a different hockey game. That said, I do say that a lot. The game 4, it was such a weird game because you just thought that, man, maybe Vancouver could win this game because Pacioretty and Pedersen score. They trade goals, power play goals in the period. I'm like, it's 1-1. I'm like, okay, here we go. Chandler Stephen adds another before the end of the period. I'm like, okay, it's 2-1. It's not over yet. And then you have Bo Horvat, which I believe scoring his playoff leading, which one is it? Let me quick look it up here. 9th goal. leading Dennis Gurianov, which we'll get to
Very
in a second.
respectable.
9 goals for Captain Bo. Tyler Toffoli, who has now had 2 goals in 3 games. I believe he's got 6 points in as many games, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, he's been good because don't forget, before Game 2, Alex, he hadn't played since Game 1 of the Minnesota series. That's how long he'd been out of the lineup for the Vancouver Canucks. Since I look over his numbers, where is he? I'm trying to look over his overall numbers. Toffoli now 4 points in 4 games, 4 playoff games, which obviously he's played in 3 of them. In the last 3, excuse me. And it's 3-2 going into the third period. And let me tell you, I was like, all right, Vancouver's got to lock it down. Just let Markstrom play well, and it'll be all good. And then all of a sudden, Nate Schmidt, Pacioretty, Carlson, bang, bang, bang. And I was talking to Harrison today, part of my conversation with him. We were talking about some bad goals.
Friend of the show, Harrison Watt.
And Fleury's goal, Pettersson's goal against Fleury, is that a bad goal? Well, Pettersson with a great shot around a screen. Fleury couldn't get a clean read at it. Nate Schmidt's blast, it was Pacioretty's second goal in the third period. I'm like, oh man, I went right through Markstrom. How can he not have it? Well, let's look at it this way. Play's coming down on a rush here, guys. And let me just give you something here. When you're a defenseman, you want to help out your goaltender best you can, right, Alex?
Sure.
Any sport, lacrosse, soccer, football.
I mean, most people want to help their goaltender.
Always want to help their goaltender. So when you're coming back on a back check as a defenseman, you should just try to block the pass, and if there's a shot, either get in the way of it, try to make sure it doesn't get the shot away, or let your goaltender block it. Not do what Chris Tanev does and stand up and put his derriere right in front of Markstrom's face so he can't see it. They can't see me now. How in the world can you stop as a goaltender if you can't see it? All right, let's get a good look here of what Markstrom is seeing on that goal by Pacioretty. He is looking, and what just fell? Oh, that's the other phone. Yeah, he can't see anything. I can't see the camera out. Can you see anything? Can you see anything?
I mean, I can see your forehead.
You can see my forehead? Okay.
A little bit.
That's all Markstrom could see. If you are the viewers at home, that's exactly what he's seen. He saw nothing. That goal right there was the dagger. Carlson's goal, Wild Bill finally scoring a goal, that really ended up being, just a dagger in the heart. I will say this, though, Alex. Despite 3 goals, I thought Fleury played well. He made 11 saves in the third period, made 28 saves in only his second start of these playoffs. I think he looked really good. I think he looked solid. He wasn't magnificent, but then again, on a back-to-back, he doesn't need to be. He just needs to win the game at hand. Yes, Alex. But, not bad. I don't think it's going to be like a job saver. By the way, is that the end of the period? Yep, end of the first period.
They're skating really slow off the ice.
Well,
so.
sometimes they skate slowed for a TV timeout. 0-0 at the end of the first period between Tampa and Boston, if you are kind of watching us and wanting to follow along.
Fun fact, apparently the Bruins have a weird thing where they don't like going into the locker room without the goalie first. I just saw that. Fun fact.
I can only go...
Superstitious.
I don't care if I don't go off first.
Are you superstitious or a little stitious?
I'm superstitious. But, you're going to go with Leonard the rest of the way. Fleury's only going to fill in when you need to. I do think Vancouver...
Leonard's just hot.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know if Vancouver is good enough to win another hockey game. I don't think that's in anyone's question. I don't think anyone's questioning that, Alex.
I don't think it's the question of whether or not they're good enough to win a hockey game. It's just a matter of will they.
I do agree with you there.
And I think that's the huge thing that you have to take into consideration is that yes, this Vancouver team is a solid team, and they've proven themselves to be worthy of being a playoff competitor, or at least for this season. We'll have to see how next season goes. But as of right now, they're in the top 8 with a very slim possibility of becoming in the top 4. I just don't think that they will.
I don't think they'll come back. I think
you know what? They may win a game, but it's the same thing with the Philadelphia series. Yes, they may win a game, but that being said, they're not going to win the series.
I will be previewing Game 6 on Thursday night would Game 6 be on Thursday? They wouldn't play another back-to-back in this series. No. Because I know there's going to be travel days for the conference finals because the East obviously
there's
has
only
to go
8
across.
teams left. They're not doing back-to-backs.
Well, not anymore. Not in the conference finals. I don't believe they will, depending on how long it takes to travel and whatnot. So, yes, Vancouver wins tomorrow night. Game 6, we'll have 2 Game 6s. We'll have Philly taking on the Islanders and the Canucks taking on the Knights.
So you think that the Canucks will pull one out?
I believe so. They're good enough to do so. Markstrom's been good enough to do so. Yes, he's allowed a couple of squeakers in this series, but let's be honest. The Vegas Golden Knights have outchanced the Canucks, and almost every game in these playoffs, except for maybe 2 in the Minnesota series, the Vancouver Canucks have been outshot. That's pretty much been the story of these playoffs for them, and that's why Markstrom, let me tell you, he's a guy that's going to get paid. I don't have my capfriendly.com right in front of me right now, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be looking at free agency up here, and he's going to make some coin, no matter flat cap or not. He's showing why he can be a number 1 goaltender in this league.
Game 5 tomorrow is at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:45 Mountain Time. Tyler says they're going to go to 6 games. I say not so fast there, Mr. Zulu. Next series that we will be talking about.
Pretty much that's the only series we're going to be right on in this round.
Probably.
Most likely. Bring it on.
Colorado, Dallas. Dallas is leading the series.
Hey!
1 because why? We said at the beginning of the episode.
Avalanche
all the series are
awful. Let me tell you right now. So
before you get into it,
before
you get into it,
say the game 2
hold
score.
Hold on. Before you get into it, Dallas, like I said, they're leading 3-1. The Stars won Game 2, 5-2. Avalanche won the Game 3, 6-4. Stars winning Game 4, 5-4. So pretty high scoring games, I would say. The Avalanche blew the 2-0 lead in Game 2. Avalanche went up 3-1, which you're probably going to talk about and get into a whole thing about.
No, not that one. I'm talking about. I was going to mention Game 2 here, Alex.
Well,
let me.
Okay, fine.
Let's go. We can go
game.
We got time. We can go game by game.
Fine.
Fine, Alex.
It's a 4-letter word. It starts with F.
You're right. Anyway,
So is
fool. But listen, so Kelly and I were out with some friends on Monday night.
You have
or
friends?
Tuesday night. Was it? No, it was Monday night because that was the game because I did the show with Thomas and Harrison, and then we went out to eat. We're sitting there, like, we're making sure we can watch the game, and we're outside. We're on it's called Viewpoint Ballpark. We're literally in line with the top of Coors Field. That's how high up we were on the roof here in Denver. By the way, Coors Field on the outside. I haven't been inside it myself. Beautiful ballpark.
This would be the part of the show where you drink.
We're just going off topic.
Yes.
Well, now I'm getting back to the game here. Colorado starts well. McKinnon, goal. There you go. They get up. They're up 2-0. Things are looking good for Colorado. I'm like, hey, maybe we're bringing some hometown spirit for the Avalanche here watching the game. And I blink. Stars have a 5-on-3. Joe Pavelski, 7th goal of the playoffs. Radek Faksa scores on the power play. It's 2-2. Then Radulov scores his 5th. Lindell scores. Alexiak with an empty netter. Hudobin stands on his head, and I'm like, what just happened here? It was 2. I'm like, wasn't this? I literally looked over. I'm like, guys, wasn't this 2-0? They're like, yeah, it's 3-2. What I meant, it was ridiculous. Game 3. I know those games between Columbus and Toronto were wild. Games 3 and 4. Both teams blow 3-0 leads, great comebacks, overtime winners, blah, blah, blah. Well, this game, if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, was just about as dumb. Avs go up 3-1. Zadorov, Burakovsky scoring, Landeskog coming in the goal. And then all of a sudden the Stars like, all right, let's get some goals running. They score 3 on their own. They take a 4-1, 4-3 lead. And then the Avs come back with goals from Rantanen, Kadri, and Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Big hit by Mikko Rantanen on Miro Heiskanen, leading to the empty net goal. Kadri, 7th goal of the playoffs. This is what happens when Kadri plays in the playoffs, Alex. He's pretty good.
This is what happens when Kadri plays for a good team.
He was on a good team, but he just didn't.
Was he? Was he?
Well, I don't know now. But Makar had 3 assists in the game. McKinnon had a pair of assists. Rand and Kadri each had 2 points. Pavel Francouz getting the win, his first playoff. Francouz. It's Francouz.
I'm still saying Francouz.
I know. Francouz does sound better. Francouz.
Not Francouz. Francouz.
Susie, I'm home.
There's another drink.
33 saves for Francouz in that game. Like, all right, 2-1. And I remember it's funny. I was in Denver. Hold on. We're in Denver. This has to do with the game. Alex, we have half an hour.
I'll hold on to this.
Keel Quest? No, and Second String Leather Company. Any more sponsors on the bottle?
Camelback.
Camelback. If we get sponsored by Camelback, let me tell you, we're in the wrong industry. I'm in Denver. It's Wednesday, and there is for some reason I turn on, I flip it over to a sports radio show. Kelly was doing something. I'm in the car waiting for her, and I think it was called the Ronnie K Show. I looked it up. The guy is like, Texas, what are your thoughts? I was just finishing up a point about the Avalanche. So I jumped on my phone, and it was like 2 minutes before he went off the air, and I just texted him. I said, hey, Tyler from out of town, blah, 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 blah. Avalanche, they can come back in this series, but they need to win tonight. They played against a weaker team in Arizona and playing against a more structured team like Dallas. They've been getting their teeth kicked in. And the text went through. He ended up reading on the air, and he pretty much agreed with me. Now, was his analysis as good as mine? Probably not. Regardless, listen, I can't just jump on.
That's a biased opinion.
I just can't just jump on Denver radio and put the guy out of a job. I won't do that. It's tough times right now in this economy. Anyways, so they win. They win 6-4. It was not a clean win. So I'm like, all right, they got momentum going. They just need to play well in Game 4. Psych! Game 1, reverse all over again, it seemed like, for the Dallas Stars. They go up 3-0. John Klingberg got a good, hard-working goal. Radek Faksa and Jamie Benn, both power play goals, separate power plays this time. And
that's kind of how that works.
Well,
you can't get 2 power play goals on the same.
Well, I'm talking about regarding the Pavelski-Faksa goals in Game 2 on the 5-on-3. That's what I mean. Like, they had separate power plays for that one. Miro Heiskanen, though, on Faksa's goal, his 16th point, setting the Dallas Stars franchise record for points by a defenseman in the single playoff. World Hockey Report, Alex, tweeted out, it'd be great to know what Heiskanen would be like if he were in a traditional hockey market. He'd make about $20 million. Okay, maybe not that much. That's a little bit of a stretch, but he'd make more than Pietrangelo would.
Heiskanen?
He'd make double digits. I'd pay him double digits.
No.
If I had cap room, but I'm not, Kyle Dubas.
$4 million. AAV.
$4 million signing bonus, maybe.
$4 million.
This is why
and then you throw on bonus after that.
You wouldn't get Heiskanen for $4 million.
Yeah, I would. You want to know why?
Why?
Because the hockey market I'm talking about is Toronto. You want to make $30 million a year?
You want to make $30 million? Endorsements, bruh. Can you speak a little bit of English? Perfect. Get on the air. You're going to be doing a commercial for Esso.
You like Greek yogurt and seltzer water?
Yeah.
You're in.
Wonder Bread. But this game was what I did was I like to do during these playoffs, Alex, I like to do a mock play-by-play. I like to turn it down just a little bit, I get to hear the game a little bit, and I call the game myself. So I got a better feel for this game last night. The Avs did not get a shot until the 18:26 mark of the first period. 1:34 remaining in the first period. They finally get a shot on goal. It was a great chance, too, by Kadri Hudobin. Had to make a pretty good-looking save. And you're just like, my goodness, Dallas is going to walk over this game. It's going to be over. After that point, after Kadri got a shot on goal, including that shot on goal, Alex, from that point forward through the next 21 minutes and 34 seconds, had to do the math in my head, the Avalanche outshot the Dallas Stars 22-9. They came out inspired in that second period. And I'm not saying that was because they got a shot on goal. I don't think this team is so bad. Like, oh my gosh, we got a shot, guys. Let's go. Here we go. No, they just started to pick up their play. Got a little momentum. Maybe Dallas sat back a little too much. Nichushkin gets his first goal of the playoffs. A nice little goal as he got there. Then Cale Makar, they get a 5-on-3 late in the second period. He scores a big goal. All of a sudden, it's a 1-goal game going into the third period. Things are looking good. The Avs are coming back. It's only a 1-goal game. And Rupe Hintz, of all people, scores his second goal of the playoffs, a power play goal, to give him some room. And it's like, all right, well, it's only a 2-goal game. The Avalanche have all this power still. And just a little bit later, a little dumping. And a little dumping into the Colorado zone, Alex.
A little dump and change.
Not even, no, it was a dump and change. They went off like, all right, guys, get the puck deep. Let's get some fresh legs out there.
Did I say it really bad?
I thought you said
with
Chase.
accent?
I thought you said Chase.
Oh, well, at least I meant to say dump and change.
Okay, Burba.
Dump and change.
Let's psychology really break teacher this
down here.
High school psychology teacher.
Why would a team, when puck possession is so important, why would we want to throw it away? Do we throw all of our life's problems away? No. We have to hold on to them.
Making sure I'm getting this. Actually, it's actually
Make sure
catching
we
sound.
get it. We have to make sure that we hold on to what's really important in life. And when it comes to sports, that little puck, the little piece of rubber mother made be in Taiwan or Slovakia, wherever.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, maybe. It's important to winning the game. So why do we throw it away? Because sometimes we have to let life go and do its thing and then come back to us.
We have to let people do stupid things like Cale Makar.
And just let it happen. You just have to let life live it for us.
Let life, as in Pavel Francouz and Cale Makar, decide to play the old hokey pokey and who wants the puck, and all of a sudden Dennis Gurianov's like, here we go, bing!
Well, he sure was surprised when you turned himself around, and that's what it's all about.
If we could ever get Ted Burba on this show.
I am Ted Burba!
I'm Ted Burba.
Shall I talk about my alcoholic father and how my grandmother makes pizza, Sicilian style? 12 hours, needed 5 times. Grandpa always made homemade wine, always on the table. Let's go. Where's a screwdriver? I'm going to come up from behind you and hold it to your neck and tell you how this is a survival tactic. Boy, I am Ted Burba.
Puck gets dumped in innocently in the Colorado zone. Pavel Francouz stops it, and Cale Makar. Listen. Cale Makar.
That's another one you say. Listen.
Cale Makar. Fumble Ruski. Puts it back out in front. Francouz like, what's going on? Oh my gosh!
Bumbling, stumbling.
And Dennis Gurianov, he's just coming in to, do the forecheck of I'm here, guys, I'm forcing the play-ish type deal. Just kind of glide into the Colorado zone. All of a sudden, puck's out in front. He's like, oh crap! Bang! 8th goal of the playoffs. So the easiest goal he'll probably ever have. And Cale Makar wearing them goat horns. Are they ram horns yet? No, just goat horns. Just, oh man.
Mountain goat horns.
Mountain goat horns. Because that was a bad play. Yeah!
That was good.
Thank you very much.
That was good. That was very good.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. But it took everything out of the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, yeah, Nichushkin got his second goal of the game. It was a weird shot that went off Ben, made things interesting, but Nemestikov scores way too late in the game. 33 saves for Udobin. They get the win.
That's how you pronounce that name?
Nemestikov.
No, before that.
Oh, Nichushkin. I did spell that right. Or so this. Okay. Okay. So in the notes, I spelled it wrong the first time. Second. Nichushkin.
Okay. Nunchuck. Got it.
It just changed the game. And I remember because Pierre Maguire on the broadcast, because I still had the sound on, he said, this is like Steve Smith in Edmonton. Now, here's the difference. That was Game 7 of the 86. Was it Campbell Conference Final? It was the 86 series between Edmonton and Calgary. Game 7, early in the third period. This game obviously didn't end the series, but someone tweeted, it's just not like Steve Smith. It's clearly something completely different because it didn't cost the team the game. It didn't lose them the series.
You want to know a reason why he brought that up is because the game was played in Edmonton. Duh.
It was on the other end of the rink, though. Actually, no, you're right. No, that was the exact same end because I forget the TV angle at the old Rexall place.
Do you know who Pierre Maguire is?
You're right. Well,
he is the king of random facts and pulling stuff out of thin air.
Allow me to explain the difference between the two goals, okay? Hold on, Alex. At the Rexall place, I have to remember, you watch the video feed, it's down to your right. But back in the Rexall place, the TV was on the bench side, very untypical from today's setups in the rinks. In Edmonton, in the Rogers place, it is down to the left, but it's to the right of the benches. At least on the video screen, it's to the left, to the right of the benches. The only difference was it was on the other side of the net. And some guy said it's not the same thing at all because it didn't end the series, didn't lose them the game. Well, yes, it did lose them the game because they ended up losing by 1 goal. Has it lost them the series? No, but
might as well.
Dallas is going to win tonight. I've never just felt so deflated. Like everyone is. I don't think I was picking Colorado to win the cup yet because it's so early for me still. But there are a lot of people picking, hey, this Avs team looks really good. I just think Dallas's system. I don't know. I don't want to use the word overconfidence for Colorado, but it was too easy against Arizona. It was too easy for them. And they have a better team in Dallas coming in. Rick Bowness has done a magnificent job since taking over in the middle of the season from Jim Montgomery. And Hudobin is playing like a number 1 goaltender. I want to write a piece on it. I'm like, well, what point do we see Hudobin actually get a starting job? I know Carolina tried that a couple of years back, but
no.
I think he's ready to make that jump.
I don't think so.
Maybe. I don't know. Someone's going to pay him a lot of money to mess up. Let's put it that if it doesn't work out. I like the fact
Or
what?
It becomes a situation where he gets paid and you have a tandem.
Well, you don't want to. You don't want to spend too much money on two goaltenders. Dallas already had that with Letton and Niemi. Remember?
No.
Remember how bad that was? $10 million between two goaltenders who had 4 goals against average and an .800 save percentage.
Well, yes, because those two didn't work together as a tandem very well. They didn't work very well.
Well, they just weren't good. They weren't that good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes, individually they were not good. So putting them together just was not good times 2, and then they paid them a lot.
Or is it not good squared?
No, because they're not the same.
Well, okay, you're right.
They're not the same. They're not the same goaltender. If it was if it was Lehtinen and Lehtinen, if it was 2 of the same, then yes, it'd be squared. But it's not. So it's.
Oh, I was going to say, finally, the chat got a little crazy. Tyler Burke was trying to make the word #listen a thing. Thank you, Tyler. And
Hey, listen. Hey, love is hot.
What is that from?
Legend of Zelda.
Oh, that's why.
Hey,
I think you're going full.
Listen.
You were in the same voice that you're doing your backyard football impression. Hike. No, listen. Colorado's done, and I've never been so sure of a team just deflated. They're going to lose tonight. They may lose in overtime. It may be a 3-2 game. Francouz may make 30 saves. Who knows? Hey, Hudobin's going to have another great game. You know who's going to score the game winner? Alex
Corey Perry.
Oh, dear gosh. So the play last night, I remember that had a lot of people mad, and Rick Bowness mad, was because of the fact that McKinnon bumped Perry, and Perry went down harder than Zdeno Chara did tonight. Even though, yes, McKinnon did bump Perry's head. It wasn't as big of a head check as Perry made it look. Perry looked like he just got killed. Came back later in the game. But, it's... Well, I don't know if you saw it, Alex. Hold on. Let me see if I can quick pull it up for you here.
I think I did see it, but...
Let me see if I can find it here. Videos. Here we go. This right here. This is the play I'm talking about, Alex. It's the one where McKinnon comes down, plays the puck, and Perry on the Canadian national diving team just flops hard. And I'm talking just, it looks like me in a beer league when I'm a little tired. I'm just like, I just start flopping everywhere. Yes, does he make, yeah, but no, that he goes down very hard. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, bonus, that should be a 5 in a game. He brained him. He tried to knock him out, tried to kill him. Listen, McKinnon's a strong kid. He could have done a lot worse to Corey Perry if he wanted to. But yeah,
fair.
You're right, Alex. Corey Perry's going to score because you want to know why? He's going to elbow Francouz in the head. The rest
Corey Perry.
Corey Perry is another.
He's a platypus.
He's a what-to-woods?
He's a platypus.
He's a platypus?
And he's going to egg.
He's going to egg him on. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Woo!
Pew, pew, pew. It's like bows and arrow, but I'm shooting off fireworks somehow. I'm taking a bow and arrow.
How about you be bow and arrow? I'll just be Westerner with his guns.
But here's the thing. I'm doing bow and arrow, but at the end of my arrow is a Roman candle, so it shoots off, and then it shoots off even more.
I don't think that's how that works, Ty.
Okay, you make it a small Roman candle then. Just I don't know why I'm shooting left-handed. I'm actually probably right-handed with bow and arrow. I've never shot a bow and arrow in my life, so I don't know if I'm left-handed or right-handed. I'm pretty sure this is right-handed, right? If I'm drawing back with my right hand, I feel like this is what I do when I play the. This is when I do Wii Resort.
Ty. Ty.
I don't know what it is anymore.
Why are you asking me what hand it is when you shoot a bow?
I don't know. Is it left-handed when you pull it back?
I don't know.
Roman candle. Roman candle. Just firing off. Because I'm like, all of a sudden I turn into Hawkeye. Just Hawkeye or Orlando Bloom in Lord of the Rings, whatever. Or Katniss Everdeen or the chick from Brave. So you don't even remember.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just the fact that you were just... This is the part of the show where instead of drinking, you grab a new fifth and you finish the last one.
I don't know why I make a big explosion sound effect for when you chug a bottle.
Because it's a shot.
Ah, there you go. I'll give you that one there, sir. Just
That being said, the Stars are going to make like a Western and go off with the wind. Because
you try to do wind. Yeah, say wind.
No.
You're trying to say wind or win?
Win. Go off with the wind. It was supposed to sound like Gone with the Wind, but no.
Quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Well,
see what I did there? Because
obviously you should, because the team that you wanted to win is down 3-1.
Well, you know what? It's over. It's over.
Game 5 tonight, 9:45 Eastern Standard Time, 7:45 Mountain Time.
So that's
it's
about
done.
A little over 90 minutes from now.
Just a little bit over.
I believe. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm not going to be. Thursday's show is not going to be a conference final preview show.
No, we'll save that for Monday.
I should try to reach out. I want to know actually how.
With some other news, not nudes, news.
Okay, you left out the D.
That's right, folks. We're doing the show Porky Pig style.
In
college, they didn't call me. I'm not gonna say that joke on the air. Sorry.
I don't know.
I really can't.
So if World Hockey Report. So if Steven Stamp. Oh, Ryan McDonough with a big hit on Andre Case. Look at Case. Oh, that's.
I thought it was Kasha.
Sorry, Kasha.
Is it Kasha?
I
think it's Kasha.
Kasha. Pierre, where's Pierre? Should I get Pierre on the phone? If I had Pierre,
it's Kasha. Andre Kasha. Yeah.
Boom. Kind of gets him a little bit with the arm there. Let's see. Steven Stamkos is
Tyler,
Tampa's
do you
fifth
not have
most
anything
important.
else to talk about? Because if so, I've got to think.
Well, I just want to know what the score. Let me give you guys the score here.
0-0.
Is it still 0-0? Well, the second period started. I may have missed something.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other game. I was about to say Colorado hasn't started, Ty.
It is 0-0 as of right now. They haven't lost yet.
Told you.
They have about 3 hours to do so. I think I'm good. Oh, Kucherov is back on the bench, so that's good. Kucherov's back out there. Well, yeah, he just took a high stick. That's all it really was. I know he wasn't on the power play. I do know that. The fact that Chara just wow. The Athletic, who wrote this one? Fluto Shinzawa wrote for the Athletic saying, "Could Game 5 be the end of Zdeno Chara?" Still 0-0, a little over 3 minutes into period number 2 between Tampa and Boston. Shots on goal right now, 8-8 between the two teams.
Thank you, Tyler.
I'm not going to start doing play-by-play. I could do that.
Do we have anything in the chat before I go into a possible final segment?
Let's see. I need to count how many times you say listen in each show. That's what Tyler said, and Dad says you should, which means
listen, guys.
It would be a high number. That is for sure.
Listen.
Hashtag
listen.
Hashtag.
There we go. T-shirt idea. See,
no. Well, we've been thinking about it, but
we've been like think about it. Like
should we get a T-shirt line? Should we get swag? Are we popular enough?
Well, no. Like we've talked about it like since the beginning of the show. We should have a T-shirt. Like for me,
back in 2018 when it was literally up Alex's phone. When it was Alex's phone right here, we had two $20 mics and a dream. A very nightmarish dream.
They weren't $20 mics, Ty. Those were like $12 each.
Well, tax included. I mean, we got it through Amazon, but it was, yeah.
Which reminds me, I'm going to take one of the mics home with me tonight.
What you need?
A mic.
Oh, Tampa scored. We got a goal. Dang it.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Tampa scored.
Sucks.
A lock. He's more like a slock. Am I right? No. Andre Palat scored. Who called it? Me. DJK. Me. Called it. Woo!
For a second there, I thought you were about to say DJ Khaled.
DJ
Khaled.
Hey, it's Andre Palat's fifth goal of the series, Alex. Another one. Let's go. Woo! I'm fired up now. I'm going to run through this wall. That's a window, but I'm going to run through it as well.
You're going to run through the window? You might as
through
well
the
run
window.
There it is.
Through the wall. The sweat dropped down. I mean, it is dropping pretty quick, but is it officially Palat's goal? Yep, fifth of the postseason. Let's go. Woo! Tampa's going to win it. Knocking on wood when I do that. I'm psyched. I'm jacked now, man.
Would you say you're jacked, Edwards?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare do that to me. I think we're pretty good, Alex. I know we're ending the show a little early. No talking minors with the Rando tonight here on 12-Ounce Sports. He's got something big working up, though. Got to pay attention. Got to follow him on the Twitters. Make sure you follow him on Minor League Rando. Doesn't spell exactly like it says, but excuse me. Oh, Boston Bruins with a great update on their Twitter. Tampa takes a 1-0 lead at 4:21 of the second. Who scored, you dummy?
They were 1 second off.
Damn. What?
At what time was the goal scored?
4:21
Yeah, they were a second off.
of the second period. Oh, yes.
There you go.
Well,
4:20.
4:20. You can say it. It's
Blaze.
legal here in the state of Michigan.
I was waiting for you. I can't just say it out loud. If I want you to get it.
pot.
Yes.
Marijuana. It worked.
Marriage iguanas.
The bolts are going to
Watermelon
fizzle. Whoa. Whoa, QuestQuest. Wow. You know what? Turn that, Alex. They said the bolts are going to fizzle. We're not going to feature that logo if they're going to be negative like that. We're only optimistic on this show. Second String Leather Company.
Crafted from the crease.
Salt's up there. My bookie's down here, too.
Bay. Belligerent.
Bet on the bolts.
Benign.
At mybookie.ag. Bet on 'em.
Social bank.
Bah!
Bar down skis.
No, we can go bar down. Bar down. Sorry, I was thinking of another start with a B. I was thinking of that bar blank or whatever it is. The heck they call it.
Bar blank? What?
No, I was talking about like bar stool. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, Barstool Sports?
Yeah, that joke. But anyways, the Bolts are beating the Bruins. They're beating them badly. We should probably say goodbye, Alex.
For Tyler, I'm a benign, belligerent, badass. Alex Keel. See you. Bye, everybody.
Hashtag TKS. Hashtag everything. No, you not just dab. You did not just dab on my show. Get out of here. Go away. Leave. Get out of here. Be gone. Be gone. Be gone. Go away. Leave us. Bye, everybody.